Nesson presents coverage of an historic matchup as the Boston Red Sox get ready to take on the Chicago Cubs for the first time in regular season play, interleague style, as the Sox and Cubs go at it. Tom Kerr and Gary DiSarcina with you. We'll send you out to West Addison Street in just a few moments as these teams play at Wrigley for the first time, because the 1918 World Series, which is the only other time they played, the games in Chicago were moved over to Comiskey. It was a bigger ballpark and a deeper fence for Babe Ruth to try to reach.
It's an exciting time to be a baseball fan. Not a lot of people like interleague play, but this is a baseball fan day. The players who play for the Red Sox that have not played over there in Wrigley right now, they're excited. It's a nice ballpark. It appears to be a bandbox. If the wind's blowing out, it's going to be a fun place to hit. But overall, a very exciting day for the sport of baseball, and this is what is good with interleague play. 4 of the 25 players on today's roster for the Red Sox have never played at Wrigley Field. Just again shows how much movement there is between leagues and between teams. But Jason Varitek, Trot Nixon, Kelly Shopik, and Kevin Youkilis have never played at Wrigley Field. So it's going to be an exciting time for them. We heard Terry Francona say it at one point, almost an opening day type feel between the day game and the number of media at this game. You can tell this is not an ordinary baseball game. It doesn't appear that it's a Yankee-Red Sox type of rivalry game, but along the lines of a playoff game, I think it appears it's very festive, exciting. People out there 4 or 5 hours before the game, tailgating, having a good time. 2 storied franchises. You can't get any better than this. Big story here. Greg Maddux on the mound looking for his 310th career win, and you can see what the Red Sox have done against him. David Ortiz is going to face him for the first time ever. Manny 0 for 5. Bill Miller has had success against him, as has Edgar Renteria. Jay Payton not in the lineup. He's had very good numbers against him. And Bronson Arroyo, I'm sure it just doesn't matter who he's facing. He's a Red Sox pitcher taking some batting for the first time. It's going to be different for Bronson to be hitting. He's going to throw him off his regular routine and all that. But Maddux facing these guys, Billy Miller's the only guy who's really had a good sampling off him. But they're not going to see the Maddux that was there 5-6 years ago, where he was throwing 89, 90 with that great movement. They're going to see a guy throwing 84, 85, 86. He's going to find a way to get these guys. Learning experience for Greg, too, here. He's each at-bat that he goes through with these guys, he's going to pick things up. He's going to see weaknesses. He's going to attack them. He's going to see how they react to pitches that he throws. He's got great balance when he lands after his delivery. He's got a great vision of what guys are trying to do up there. Of course, with the Braves being the so-called natural rival of the Red Sox, Maddux has played and pitched against the Red Sox. I think he's 4-0 against Boston. But coming in, the Red Sox have been a team not scoring runs. They scored only 3 runs in the first 2 Cardinals game, but put together a nice inning and a 4-0 win. Renteria with a home run in the wee hours on Wednesday night. Offense came around a little bit. David Wells pitched great, saved the bullpen. Keith came in for a little bit at the end, but the bullpen, they get 2 days off. Today was a great day for these guys, just to relax mentally, to get away from the game, to go enjoy the city. It's a great city. Go down to Lake Michigan, go walk around. It's just mentally get away from the game for a day, and then you jump back into the circus. And this is a great way to go. I mean, the adrenaline's flowing. You walk into the ballpark, having a great time. It is amazing how one day for a Major League Baseball player feels like a 2-week vacation for most of us. Just one day away from the game. It does. You play 16 games in a row, and you're traveling in between, so it's like a brand new day. All right, it's Greg Maddux for the Cubs, Bronson Arroyo for the Red Sox. Interleague play at Wrigley Field. All the fun coming your way next.
Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you in part by Albert's Furniture Showplace. Just what you're looking for in a furniture store.
4-door sedan. 4-door sedan.
The stylish Nissan Altima 2.5S has a higher residual value than Camry LE. Now lease the Altima 2.5S for $199 a month or get $1,500 cash back. Check it out.
Need tires? Town Fair Tire, New England's largest volume discount tire dealer, where you always get the guaranteed lowest prices on Toyo tires. At Town Fair Tire, you always get free mounting, free flat repair, free tire rotation, free snow tire changeover, free front wheel alignment, guaranteed lowest price. So when you need tires, get the guaranteed lowest prices on Toyo tires.
Town Fair Tire always guarantees the lowest price.
Because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
King the guillotine is gonna squeeze your ugly little head till it pops like a cherry tomato. You know why? Why? Because you're ugly. You're so ugly, and if ugliness were bricks, you'd be the Great Wall of China. Whoa. But don't be a little crybaby. But the guillotine brings you good news. What's that? I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you in part by Bristol Toyota, Champion Mortgage, Fireside Nissan, Marty's USRV, Bolero, First Acura, Geico, Nissan of East Providence, Scott Volkswagen, Extramart, and Hyundai.
Wonderful afternoon. The Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs about to play the first of a 3-game series. And we'll send it now down to the field level and Dan Roach. Dan?
All right, thank you very much, Don. A pretty historic day here for fans of the Cubs and the Red Sox. First time these two teams have ever met at Wrigley Field. They met in the World Series back in 1918, but that was at Comiskey Park. What also makes today special for Red Sox fans is they get to see, or at least we got to see, Nomar Garciaparra as well as Todd Walker, both former members of the Boston Red Sox. Of course, Nomar had a huge career with the Red Sox, saying hello to former coaches and teammates, among them Ron Papa Jack Jackson. He had a big hug for his former hitting coach and, of course, his former manager last year, Terry Francona, until he was traded at the July 31st trade deadline. He had a lot of good friends on this team, amongst them Kevin Millar. Of course, everybody's friends with Kevin Millar, and Mike Timlin, reliever Mike Timlin of the Red Sox, very good friends as well. Now, the story with Nomar Garciaparra, he's got a torn groin muscle. He's not with the team. He's doing some, not playing with the team. He's working out, doing some light jogging, hopes to get back sometime soon in a Cubs uniform. And also another member is Todd Walker. He was a big part of that 2003 team that lost in Game 7 of the ALCS to the New York Yankees. Earlier this morning, both had a chance to speak to the media. We listened in to what they had to say about Boston and Chicago.
Okay, am I going to get my ring? Yeah, I'll be getting it this weekend.
Why else would he be here?
No, yeah, I'll be getting it this weekend. I haven't got it. I haven't received it yet, but I told you guys I'd let you know when I got it. So.
Are you excited about getting it, Nomar?
Am I excited about getting it? Yeah, I definitely am. I was excited when I found out I was receiving one, and I'm still excited about seeing it and getting it. I mean, I've definitely been patient. I'm not going, gosh, when's it going to come to me? I haven't been going, shoot, have you sent it yet? What's going on? Just, I know I'll get it when that time comes.
Is it particularly painful not to be able to play this weekend because of your old team?
It's painful. My groin hurts. But it's... I would love to be out there playing right now. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, aside from not only just the Red Sox being in town, but at the same time being out there knowing I'll be able to play from dealing with this injury. But, I also know I have confidence in my team as well. Well, it was extremely special. I mean, I've said this all along. I mean, I have unbelievable memories there, unbelievable friends. I still have amazing friends and close ties over there in that city that I'll always have. And it was definitely a special place. I mean, I'll never forget the time as I realized something. I've said this before about myself. I got a big heart, and that place will always be a place in my heart. And fortunate for me, I'm in another wonderful place that has a big spot in my heart as well. So as somebody up there is looking after me, I've been pretty blessed to play in two wonderful, wonderful cities, and now here in a wonderful place in front of great fans.
Do you see similarities between the style of fans in the city?
I've never been asked that before. The similarities between Boston and Chicago are amazing. I mean, and to me, I've always said there's no two better places to play in the world than either for the Chicago Cubs or the Boston Red Sox. I mean, I had the best year I've ever had. To answer your question. A couple years ago, all things considered, that was the best year I've ever had in baseball. And then get an opportunity to come here and play, it's very, very similar. The fans are the same. I think the Chicago Cubs fans have taken on kind of the Boston fans' mentality in that they're not just happy with coming to games here anymore. They expect you to win, and they expect you to play well, and if you don't, on any given pitch or any given at bat, you're going to get booed, and that's been Boston for the last 80 years, from what I understand. So, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, for me, there's no better thing than to have that type of passion with the fans. So the fans are similar. The cities, to me, are just the best in the country, and the fields, Fenway and Wrigley, having the tradition that they have, very similar as well. And the only difference I've always said is that the day games here, like you'll see the next couple days if it's nice, to me there's no better atmosphere to play baseball.
Omar, what stage is your rehab as you sit here today? Also, do you know, are the Red Sox going to formally give you your ring this weekend in an on-field present?
No, they won't be on the on-field. It'll be done in a private matter. So, but as far as where I'm at right now, I'm still getting, you know, I'm healing every day, which is good. I'm right now in Arizona, going through a rehab, going through physical therapy, breaking up tissue, working hard, working extremely hard, working out, getting my other parts of my body that I can do back in shape as well. So I know when my groin is 100%, the rest of my body doesn't have to catch up. But right now, I'm starting to jog just a little bit. I mean, we're talking about maybe, you know, 2 to 3 light jogs, about maybe 60 yards, and that's about it. It's not an intense jog. It's probably more like a heavier walk than it is anything else, than a trot or whatever. But that's where I'm at right now. I can play catch. Probably within the next week, I'll probably just do some light swinging off the tee, knowing that, because that stuff really doesn't bother me quite as much. It's really when I get over the hurdle when I could run and move. But there's definitely some intense workouts. There's definitely some pain. There's definitely some things I know I'm going to have to work through and get through, and also see how it recovers after those intense workouts. So that's really the stage I'm at right now.
Did you prefer to be a private sort of ceremony of sorts rather than public?
Well, I don't think there's really any need for it to be a public thing, especially here. You know, I'm in a wonderful place. I mean, here's you know, this city, this organization, these guys are, you know, are trying every day to get that ultimate thing, to get the ring, and you know, me getting it and being a part of it is something that was, you know, obviously in that other wonderful city, and it's going to be something it's going to be done in a private manner that I think it's best for everybody.
Omar, how did you feel the Red Sox organization and fans treated you when you were in Boston?
Well, I'll tell you, the fans have just absolutely been wonderful. I have nothing. I mean, they've been amazing. I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm sure you're going to see some Garcia Parra shirts out there today with still with the Red Sox and everything, and you'll see some also with the Cubs on it. I mean, as a player, I can't think of anything more special than to see that and appreciate it more. I mean, I think my whole time there in Boston, I gave everything I could, everything I knew I was about, both on and off the field. And here I am now in a wonderful place, been blessed to be in the same type of environment, you know, so I'm excited. You know, it's one of the organization. I left one great organization with tradition to another great one.
How about the media? How about the media in Boston? How did you feel you were treated at the end?
You know, I don't really focus on that. I don't really focus my energy on that. My energy's been focused on the new place I'm at right now.
Will that ring, given the circumstance how you part of Boston, will that ring have a little less significance in the media?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, I know you're still part of it. I mean, a championship wasn't just won in just 1 year or in just over a course of 7 games. That's not how you win a World Series. You win a World Series over a course of a season and the years before that. I mean, that team that won it last year was put together not just from that one particular year, but from all the years, from a winning tradition that was embedded in me prior to me getting there. I had great players that showed me the way and what it's supposed to be to put on a Red Sox uniform. And my whole entire time there, I think I continued that tradition so people can come in and know what it's like. People came over there because they knew that's what I want to be a part of. They win. If we weren't winning prior to that, we wouldn't have had the players to get there to get us over the hump, that's for sure. I haven't watched the World Series. I've never watched the World Series, despite whether our team's in it or not. I've never watched one. But I was keeping up. I was definitely following. This is one I followed. There was another World Series I followed was the Mets and the Yankees when they were in it, that Subway Series, only because one of my best friends was a center fielder for the Mets, who's now an outfielder for the Red Sox and stuff. So I had to follow him and make sure he was doing all right. So with this one, I was following it because I had more than just one friend on that team and watching everybody. So I definitely followed it. I didn't actually watch it because, like I said, I've never watched, but I followed it. it and was happy. I kept in contact with a lot of the guys. I was talking to them over the phone, you know, telling them, good luck, you guys looking great, keep it going throughout the playoffs, throughout the World Series. So, you know, they would call me, I would call them. It was definitely a special feeling. It was definitely felt, you know, like I said all along, feeling a part of it, and extremely excited, extremely happy, like, you know, like Todd said, especially for that city, you know, spending so much, having such close ties to friends and people there and the fans, and being so in touch with them that, you know, you definitely, all along, I said I was always, my whole time there was playing for them to get them a World Series, you know, because that's what it meant. What will I do with the ring? Shoot. I would just send it around, you know, different museums, you know, just put it away, you know, put it up there with all the other things that, you know, that are around my house, you know, up there with other accomplishments that I've done in a room that, you know, at some point kids and family members can go admire that I just walk by.
Don't miss the half-price sale, now through Saturday at Lincoln Mercury of Raynham. We're famous for saving you money.
Hey, Red Sox fans, there's a new double play combination on Yawkey Way. The Sox have joined their friends across the street to create the Boston Red Sox Team Store. There you'll find the largest selection of authentic Red Sox merchandise anywhere. You can stop in or order by phone at 1-800-FENWAY-9. The new Boston Red Sox Team Store. It's the place to be for everything a Sox fan needs.
When you're on the go, you need the convenience, quality, and pricing that you'll always find at Extra Mart. Convenience. Everything you need is priced right and ready to go. Quality. Extra Mart has their own Extra Cafe Gourmet Coffee, delicious Deli Joe sandwiches, and Extra Fuels gasoline. Great prices. Extra Mart features everyday low prices and value specials. Through Labor Day, Coca-Cola 12-packs are specially priced at 2 for $5. Coca-Cola, make it real. In every corner of New England, Extra Mart is just around your corner.
Foxwoods, the wonder of it all.
Hi, I'm Roanne from Off Track Betting, celebrating our 25th anniversary, celebrating 25 years of bringing you the lowest prices every night. The lowest prices on the latest and greatest Serta mattresses. The lowest prices every night on Visco foam mattresses, water beds, bunk beds, futon beds, and bedroom furniture. Let Off Track Betting help you find the mattress that's right for you at any one of our 15 convenient locations. Off Track Betting, for over 25 years, the lowest prices every night.
It's a wonderful world. I'm just walking on air. Top of heaven on earth. I've got more than my share. Haven't got a care. Happy all day.
Rico dependability moves your ideas forward.
It's a wonderful world.
Tweaks, too.
Loving wonderful you.
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy along with Dan Roach back at Wrigley Field as the Red Sox and Cubs get ready for the first matchup here at Wrigley Field ever. Of course, the Red Sox edged the Cubs 4-2 in the 1918 World Series, but this is the first ever contest between the Red Sox and the Cubs at Wrigley Field. And of course, Babe Ruth on that 1918 team. The reason they played at Comiskey Park was due to the limited capacity here at Wrigley. So the Red Sox here for the first time, and we all know about 1918 as the Cubs take the field led by their starting pitcher, Greg Maddux, on a warm afternoon in Chicago. We take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The Red Sox have Johnny Damon leading off in center field. Edgar Renteria at shortstop. David Ortiz at first base. Manny Ramirez in left. Trot Nixon in right field. Jason Varitek doing the catching. Bill Miller at third base. Mark Bellhorn at second base bats eighth. And the Red Sox pitcher Bronson Arroyo bats ninth and does the pitching as the Red Sox go up against Greg Maddux.
Maddux currently on a 2-game winning streak. Wins against the Dodgers in San Diego. 4-3 total on the season. Great control. Only the 12 walks and 45 strikeouts in 74 innings. He has faced the Red Sox 6 times in his major league career. He's a perfect 4-0 against Boston with a 3.32 ERA. He's also a great fielder. 13 straight Gold Glove awards that ended in 2002. The Cubs defense is 12th in the league. They've made 37 errors in 58 games. Aramis Ramirez will be at third base. Nefi Perez the shortstop. Todd Walker at second and Derek Lee at first. Left to right, Todd Hollingsworth, Corey Patterson, and Jeremy Burnitz. And Mike Barrett doing the catching for the Cubs and catching Greg Maddux in this ball game this afternoon.
Umpiring crew: Ed Montague has at plate, Jerry Lane at first base, Paul Emmel at second base, and Tom Hallion is the umpire at third. Here we go as Johnny Damon makes his way to the plate. A large contingent of Red Sox fans here today, as you might imagine. The Red Sox had the day off yesterday, and Red Sox fans all over the streets of Chicago here for this historic series between the Red Sox and the Cubs. Maddux ready in the first pitch of the ball game. In there for strike one to Johnny Damon.
If you were to teach a class on pitching, you would certainly want your instructor to be Greg Maddux. He is a guy that knows pitching probably better than anybody in the game of baseball. Nothing overpowering, changes speeds, the fastball, curveball, slider, cut, fastball, changeup. He reads hitters and he adjusts to the way he thinks they're trying to approach him.
39-year-old right-hander with a pitch to Damon as it slapped foul on the ground outside of third base. Greg Maddux now 39 years of age. And in his second stint with the Chicago Cubs, came up first with the Cubs in 1987. 6 seasons with the Cubs before going to Atlanta as he shatters the bat of Johnny Damon.
Looked like a changeup that time from Maddux, and Damon gets it right toward the end of the bat. Yeah, you see the changeup grip in the glove and splinters right at the end of the bat.
Well, look at the career numbers for Greg Maddux. 309 wins. And the 2.97 earned run average, second among active pitchers, only to Pedro Martinez in that earned run average category. He was with Atlanta from 93 through 2003 and rejoins the Cubs now for his second season back in his second stint. The 2-2 to Damon. In there for strike 3, rung up by Ed Montague. Maddux starts the day off with a strikeout.
Well, that's what Maddux will do. He'll just try to hit corners. Very few pitches down the middle of the plate for Greg Maddux, and he'll go inside with the fastball that kind of tails back over the corner. He's famous for doing that against left-handed hitters.
One down for Edgar Renteria. Of course, playing his career in the National League, but over the last 3 years, Renteria coming in here to Wrigley Field with just a 195 batting average as a visitor. He hits at 270 overall in his first season with the Red Sox. 5 homers and 22 runs batted in as he takes a strike from Maddux. Career against Maddux, very good, including a home run for Edgar Renteria.
This is one of those Wrigley Field days, hot, humid, and the wind blowing straight out to center field. And generally, when you have these kind of days, you see an awful lot of offense. Now, we'll see if the pitchers have something to say about that.
Yeah, Matt Clement was telling us what a different ballpark this is when the wind is blowing in. This one to right, and there's Burnitz. And there's 2 down. I mean, it plays completely different, like it's a whole other ballpark.
It's very similar to Fenway Park. Early in the season, when you have that sea breeze blowing in, the wind blowing in straight. I mean, Fenway becomes a big ballpark. It's the exact same thing here at Wrigley Field. In the summer, when you have those hot, humid days like today, and that wind's blowing out, it's like Fenway Park, except I think it has more of an effect here.
So 2 down. Here's Big Papi. David Ortiz standing in on the left side at 301, 14 homers, and 47 runs driven in. And first pitch in there for a strike to Ortiz. Fresh off a pretty good series against the Cardinals, in which he was 5 for 12 with a home run. And over the last 12 games, Ortiz hitting at 400. Swinging him, foul tip, and he got just a piece of it. It's 0-2.
Again, not a big difference between the fastball and changeup from Maddux. There you see the changeup grip again at about 79 miles an hour. His fastball is topped out at 86.
I think to be effective, he would need more separation between the two.
Yeah, it's all about location, though, with Greg Maddux.
Well, the Cubs have chosen to put the shift on for Ortiz. And Effie Perez on the right side of the infield, the Cubs shortstop. Here's the 1-2. Fire inside to Ortiz.
According to the pregame numbers, Don, I don't think Ortiz has ever faced Greg Maddux in regular season competition.
Ortiz lifts it in the air to shallow left center field. In comes Corey Patterson. He'll make the catch, and the Red Sox are down in order in the first. Cubs coming up.
Some people don't realize how many nonstop flights Southwest offers, so we created this simple color-coded map to help. Baltimore to LA is red, Phoenix to Raleigh-Durham, blue, Chicago to Seattle, yellow, LA to Austin, canary yellow, Orlando to Albuquerque, teal, Las Vegas to Houston, aquamarine, Buffalo to Phoenix, beige umber, Philadelphia to Oakland, pistachio, Oakland to Chicago, sea green, Albany to Orlando, puce, Tampa to St. Louis, pinkish, New Orleans to San Diego, kinda green.
You are now free to move about the country.
Of course you don't want to pay for checking. Seriously, who does? Well, with totally free checking from Sovereign Bank, you won't. Start with a free order of checks. Plus, get free online banking and bill pay, and a no annual fee Sovereign ATM or Visa check card. All with no minimum balance and no monthly maintenance fee. Totally how it should be. Get totally free checking today. It's simple, convenient, and free. Sovereign Bank.
We're here to tell it. One name stands above the rest. Our reputation is your protection. So come on in, put us to the test. S-A-C-C-U-C-C-I. Sakuchi, it's the name to drive. Sakuchi, it's the name to drive.
Last half of the first inning. Red Sox don't score in the top of the first. Here come the Cubs. The starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Leading off is Nefi Perez at shortstop for the Cubs. Corey Patterson in center field. Derek Lee, who's on fire at first base. Jeremy Burnett's in right field. Aramis Ramirez at third base with Todd Walker at second base. Todd Hollinsworth in left field. Michael Barrett does the catching, batting eighth, and Greg Maddux on the mound, bats ninth, as the Cubs go up against Bronson Arroyo.
Bronson Arroyo looking for his first win since back on May the 5th. He got a win there against Detroit, a bunch of no decisions and a couple of losses since that time. Last time out against the Angels, 6 innings in that ball game, only 2 earned runs, pitched very well, but the Sox bullpen, that's the game. They gave up 11 runs to blow that 5-2 lead. In his career against the Cubs, 0-2 in 4 games.
Ball was left in behind the mound as a part of the warm-up tosses, so Edgar Renteria's got to get rid of it. Well, a very warm afternoon here today in Chicago. And here's Nefi Perez at 311, 7 homers and 26 runs batted in. A strike from Bronson Arroyo to begin the day. Since Perez has joined the Cubs last year and this year, great numbers for him at 324. Really considered a power hitter, but 9 homers as he hits a fly ball to center field. Johnny Damon there to make the catch for out number 1.
Let's look at the rest of the Red Sox defense. Bill Miller at third base, Edgar Renteria the shortstop, Mark Bellhorn at second, and David Ortiz at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon, and Jason Varitek doing the catching for Bronson Arroyo.
All kinds of Red Sox fans here for the weekend. And for a lot of them getting their first look at Wrigley Field. Just a picture-perfect afternoon here today as Corey Patterson stands in, shows bunt, pulls back, and takes the ball.
You mentioned the home runs, Don. The Cubs are second in the National League in home runs behind the Cincinnati Reds. Of course, we'll see the Reds back at Fenway next week.
Interleague play continuing for the Red Sox as they'll host the Reds after this 3-game series with the Cubs. Red Sox playing here Sunday night as well as part of the ESPN Sunday night game of the week. Dusty Baker here with the Cubs. Yeah, they are in second place coming into today's action. They're in a tough National League Central Division. Finds himself 6.5 games back of the Cardinals, and we have seen why the Cardinals are so tough.
Well, the thing about the Cubs is the fact that they've been doing this with a number of key injuries on their ball club. They've been playing very good baseball to hang around in this division.
Well, their first baseman, Derek Lee, has been so outstanding as he waits on deck for the Cubs here in the last half of the first inning. Really, the number is incredible as he's thinking Triple Crown, at least at this stage of the season anyway, on June the 10th. 3-2, line down the right field line, foul towards the Red Sox bullpen. And you see here the bullpens are exposed at Wrigley Field. The relievers down the line, very close to where the foul line is.
I have never been in a visiting clubhouse as small as the clubhouse here at Wrigley Field.
In the major leagues or the minors too?
Well, maybe in the minor leagues, but I mean, for a major league team, it's unbelievable how small that clubhouse is. And I got to tell you, Don, that walk from up here down there and back up is enough. That's a workout for a day.
It's totally unmanageable, as we would say. It is.
And then, not only that, when you get into the dugout, there's at least, what, 5 or 6 different corners you got to turn to get up to this little tiny clubhouse.
Yes, it's a maze to find your way up to the clubhouse. Now, I never had the chance to go to Tiger Stadium or Municipal Stadium, but I'm told those were very small as well. As this one has popped up foul, should reach the seats and does.
Fenway Park's visiting clubhouse, which is one of the smallest ones in baseball, makes this place, I mean, Fenway's visiting clubhouse is a palace compared to this visiting clubhouse here.
The Tiger Stadium was bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Municipal Stadium bigger.
Yep. Well,
Cleveland was close.
Close, yeah.
Madison pops it up, foul back and out of play. I think this is the highest we are, this press box anywhere. I know we were high in Pittsburgh, but we were back. This one has the feeling that you're hanging right over. It's extremely steep up here, but it's a great vantage point here on the top of Wrigley Field. As we look down onto the action, the 3-2 is chopped down the first baseline. It's a foul ball played by David Ortiz. Back in there today as interleague play continues. And Ortiz really has done a fine job defensively for the Red Sox at first base. And a look at our view from up top here at Wrigley Field on a beautiful afternoon. Again, the 3-2 and a swing and a miss. First strikeout of the day for Bronson Arroyo.
Patterson's strikeout number is very high. That's the 53rd time this year that he has struck out. He's among the league leaders in that category, which is very unusual for a guy hitting number 2 in the lineup.
Well, he hung in there a long time, an 11-pitch at bat for Patterson before he strikes out. And there's 2 down for Derek Lee. After the first pitch, skies it down the right field line over is Nixon. Looking up into the high sky to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 first for Arroyo. Done with one from Chicago. We're scoreless.
was 1955, 50 years ago, that my father started Sullivan Tire here in Rockland. He promised that we would treat each Sullivan customer as a member of the family, and we believe we have lived up to that promise. Today, throughout Red Sox country, whether it's for tires or auto service, you'll connect with us.
Uncle Paul, why do they sing "Take Me Out to the Ballgame" when everybody's here?
They don't care that Valero Energy Corporation is the nation's largest independent refiner, or that we're an industry leader in the production of environmentally clean energy products, or that our 4,600 stores market food and fuel to keep most of North America going. They just know that among the thousands of Valero employees who volunteer for community service every day, there's one who has energy to spare. For them, Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Why tear up your bathroom to get a beautiful bath when all you have to do is call Rebath? Rebath installs acrylic bathtubs and wall surrounds over your old bathtub and walls in just one day. No tear out, no mess, no inconvenience. Rebath's one-day stress-free patented installation is covered by a lifetime manufacturer's warranty and has made Rebath the country's largest bath remodeler. Just call 1-800-BATHTUB today for your free in-home estimate. Rebath, the refreshing remodel.
Well, no matter where you live within Red Sox Nation, you can win one of 3 authentic personalized World Series rings. Anyone 18 or older from any state can buy the $10 raffle tickets in person at Fenway Park during a game or at the ticket office during business hours. Because of legal restrictions, only Mass residents are also eligible to buy tickets online. Log on to redsox.com/ring raffle for more details.
Pam Ganley, Sarah Stevenson from the Red Sox front office enjoying the ball game today. Lots of Red Sox front office people here as well, as the Red Sox and Cubs head into the top of the second inning. Manny Ramirez, Trot Nixon, and Jason Varitek expected in the inning. Ramirez hitting at .254, 11 homers and 43 runs batted in. And he takes ball 1 from Greg Maddux. The Red Sox went down in order in the first inning as Maddux was able to strike out Damon. Renteria lined to right and Ortiz flied to center. In there for a strike, and the count evens up at 1-1. And he had the last game off of the Cardinals series. The pitch is chopped left side to third base. Aramis Ramirez throws out Manny Ramirez for the first out here of the second.
Well, you're right, Don. You know, you speak about the interest in this series, and it started yesterday. You know, you could see a lot of Red Sox fans who were coming in here for the whole weekend series. The number of the fans were down in St. Louis and making their way up to Chicago. And then I just quickly went out last night to grab a bite to eat, and they were all over Michigan Avenue. And it was the same thing this morning coming to the ballpark.
We see Red Sox fans all over. We've talked about it many times. The Red Sox, a team that travels incredibly well, but an excitement level here from these Red Sox fans like never before to be at Wrigley Field. And
now this is a very unique setting for anybody who has not been here, and this is my first visit to Wrigley. And when you drive up, I mean, you're in the middle of a neighborhood, and it's loaded with activity circling this whole ballpark.
I think it is probably the closest to Fenway Park as far as what's around it than some of the other places. In fact, here, of course, you've got beyond the fences the fans who can look from the top of the rooftops. It's completely sold out up there as well, all the way around. Now that's different. But as far as the bars and restaurants, very similar to the setup at Fenway, and really a very festive atmosphere outside the ballpark before they even get inside. And even more so, the Red Sox here for the weekend series. One down here in the top half of the second inning. Trot Nixon, who totes the .293 batting average coming in, waiting on the 2-1 as Maddux started to go into the wind but then stopped. Nixon was just 1 for 10 in the series against the Cardinals, as the Red Sox dropped 2 out of 3 to St. Louis at the beginning of this trip. to his old teammate Todd Walker at second base, who throws out Nixon, and there's 2 down.
Of course, Todd Walker missed some time with a bad knee. Placed on a disabled list back on April 11th. He had a sprain of his medial collateral ligament. He's fortunate didn't have to have surgery. Returning to the lineup recently for the Chicago Cubs. He was in that press conference that we saw with Nomar Garciaparra prior to the game.
Had a chance to talk to him very briefly. He and Nomar both before the ball game as they were headed to the press conference. And Todd Walker certainly enjoying his time here with the Cubs. A chance now to play every day. You mentioned the injury that he had, but enjoying his time here with the Cubs. And Nomar, as we heard in the press conference, saying virtually a lot of the same things he said in the press conference. Was looking forward to getting that ring in the private ceremony, and was determined before the game that it may be this guy right here who hands him his ring, Jason Varitek, his old friend and friend from college days at Georgia Tech. As Varitek takes a ball, Jason batting with 2 down, bases empty.
See the numbers for Jason in that series against the Cardinals. 2 for 11 in his career against Maddux.
Swing and a miss. Chases after that pitch away, and it's 2-2.
Again, 84 miles an hour. The ball just tailing away from Jason Varitek. Barrett set up away, and the pitch right into the glove.
Soft liner, caught it short by Perez. In order to go the Red Sox for the second straight inning. We're through an inning and a half from Wrigley Field, scoreless.
For the largest selection of gas and diesel motorhomes in New England, it's USRV.
On sale at USRV, $399 fixed on select American Coach, Beaver, Fleetwood, Travel Supreme, and more. New Beaver Marquee, $120,000 off, plus $399 fixed. 40-foot Beaver Thunder, $399 fixed, only $967 a month. New Bounder, 36, $399 fixed, only $484 a month.
Quantity, quality, and price. It's USRV. My name is Marty, and we make better deals.
America already produces enough clean energy to power every professional stadium in the country. Clean energy. It's real, it's here, it's working. Let's make more. America already produces enough clean energy to power every factory in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Clean energy. It's real, it's here, it's working. Let's make more.
The Nissan Pathfinder has led the way for nearly 2 decades, and the lead just got bigger. Introducing the new 7-passenger 2005 Nissan Pathfinder with more horsepower and seating for 7. See your Nissan dealer now and lease a new 2005 Pathfinder for just $339 a month. The Nissan Pathfinder. Everything you expect from Nissan and more. Yep, a third row.
Tune in NESN Sports Desk, New England's first word on sports, night and day. Scores, highlights, interviews, and analysis, evenings at 10 and mornings from 5 to 9.
Leading it off is Jeremy Burnitz in the cleanup spot for the Cubs. The right fielder hitting at .260, 8 homers and 34 runs batted in. Burnitz, Ramirez, and Walker expected in the inning.
37 home runs last year with the Colorado Rockies, 8 so far this year with the Chicago Cubs.
Defensively, he's been very good this season. Not known for his defense particularly, as he hits one high and deep to right. Nixon back at the wall. It's gone. A solo home run for Jeremy Burnitz, his 9th home run of the season. Puts the Cubs on top 1-0.
Bronson Arroyo trying to go away from Burnitz. It looked like it might have been a changeup. It got a lot of the plate, and Burnitz hooks it for that home run into the bleachers.
So nobody out. Aramis Ramirez takes the strike. But it is kind of strange how the Wall Jets out there behind Trot Nixon and behind Ramirez to 353 down the right field line, 355 down the left field line. You get the Wall going from center field right out there to where the outfielders are, and then all of a sudden it goes back further.
Well, you almost had to do that because if they continue the same pattern in the outfield, it would be so shallow down both lines. I mean, it's only 368 to the power alleys here at this ballpark.
Real small power alleys, 368 left center and right center. Ramirez swinging at the 1-1 and fouling it down the right field line. Has hit safely in 11 of his last 13 games. The overall numbers there, 271. Over the last 19 games, he's hit at 311. Lined into left field and in for a hit right in front of Manny. Let's check in for the first time today with the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Roach. Dan?
All right, thank you very much, Don. Todd Walker stepping up to the plate for the for the Chicago Cubs. He played for the Boston Red Sox, of course, in the 2003 season and was a big part of that team at second base that eventually lost the ALCS to the New York Yankees. Before the game, I asked him for his thoughts on what it was like to watch his former teammates actually win the World Series last year.
To pour your heart out in 2003 like I did, and then 2004 not to be a part of that, it's tough. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's tough to watch. The other side of it is that I've got, like I've said before, we've got great friends over there, and you're extremely happy for those guys because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and especially in Boston, you get a chance to win it there.
And Walker hit 370 with 2 home runs in the ALCS against the Yankees, made some diving stabs as well, and he was a classy guy all the way around with the Red Sox. Don and Jerry?
All right, Dan, thanks so much. Yeah, it had to be very tough to be so close and to have that heart-wrenching loss in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. As Veritek races over towards the dugout, no play. Ends up in behind the Red Sox dugout.
I can understand that feeling as a player. My final season with the Red Sox was the spring of 1986. And that's when my career ended. And what did they do that year? They go to the World Series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is very difficult for players who put in a long time trying to get to the magic land. All of a sudden, your career is over. In that very same year, they get to the promised land, get into the World Series. So it is a very difficult thing to sit there and watch.
Did you watch the World Series games?
Of course I did. I watched them all. I couldn't help myself, and I mean, those are all teammates of mine that were battling through that. So, last couple of years, Don, I was hurt a lot. So there were a lot of some of those players on that team I really didn't even know that well because I wasn't playing very much. But yet the majority of them are guys that I'd gone to war with for a number of years. So, to sit there and watch that in the playoffs, you're pulling for them, but yet you feel sorry for yourself that you're not there part of it. It's not an easy thing. And when guys say they don't watch, I believe it because it's tough to do.
Well, Todd Walker down 0-2 with Aramis Ramirez at first base. A swing and a miss, and Walker strikes out. Second strikeout for Bronson Arroyo.
Bronson Arroyo going with the fastball and going upstairs against Todd Walker at just about belt high, maybe a little bit above. Walker, an excellent low ball hitter.
So one away, Ramirez at first base, and here's Todd Hollandsworth. 231, a home run, and 12 runs batted in. Hollandsworth hits one high and deep to right. Nixon headed back, looking up, and that is gone out of the stadium. Todd Hollandsworth with his second home run of the season puts the Cubs on top 3-0.
Once again, a fastball here right out over the plate for Hollingsworth. Same direction except a little bit deeper than the one Burnett's hit. For Arroyo, that's 8 home runs now allowed on the season.
It is the first time that he's given up more than 1 home run in an outing. And here he's given up 2 home runs in the inning as Michael Barrett, the catcher, bats and takes a strike. That one hit out of the stadium completely and onto Sheffield Avenue outside Wrigley Field. Pitch away to Barrett. Barrett coming up through the Montreal Expos organization. Currently riding a 5-game hitting streak. He's been hot, 9 for his last 18. And here's part of the homestand as you see his numbers with the Expos from 98 through 2003. The Cubs had hosted the Toronto Blue Jays at the beginning of this homestand, and he had a pair of solo home runs on June 7th against the Toronto Blue Jays. Todd Hollingsworth has hit a 2-run home run of his own this inning. As Barrett chops one left side and through into left field. Out of the reach of both Bill Miller and Edgar Renteria. It finds its way through. And the 4th hit of the inning for Chicago.
6-game hitting streak now for Barrett. You mentioned he's been hot in that 6 games. Now 10 for 19. A ground ball that gets through the infield very quickly. Bill Miller to his left. He'll dive. He can't get it by Renteria, and the base hit for Barrett. And we'll see now with the 1 out if Maddux is sacrificing him to second base. Maddux throughout his career, though, a guy that handles the bat pretty well. Remember Bobby Cox used to use him a lot to hit and run.
167 batting average as he is squaring. They check at first base on Barrett as Maddux was going into squaring to drop the bunt down as he looks down to the third base coach. Takes the ball outside. The inning began on a solo home run by Jeremy Burnett, a single by Aramis Ramirez. Walker struck out. And Todd Hollingsworth hits a 2-run home run to right field. Michael Barrett with a single through the left side. And all of a sudden the Cubs have the 3-0 lead. A runner at first, 1 down. 1-0 to Maddux. Dropping the bunt down foul. And the count will even up at 1-1.
You notice Maddux, when he squares around the bunt, he gets very up close to the pitcher. That front foot is right on the front line of the batter's box. And look at the angle of the bat. Barrel of the bat high to make sure you get on top of the baseball and get it on the ground.
Again up close in the box, and the 1-1 dropped down very nicely by Maddux. Arroyo with only 1 play, and he throws to first to sacrifice, and up to second base goes Barrett with now 2 down.
And you could tell there's a guy there that takes his at-bats very serious. I mean, a distinct bunting style. Actually a perfect sacrifice bunting style for Maddux. Once again, a little bend in the knees, barrel of the bat up, and keeps the barrel on top of the baseball in fair territory to get the bunt on the ground.
The 7th member of the Cubs about to bat here in the inning, Nefi Perez.
One of the job of a leadoff guy in the National League is once your pitcher has to run the bases, you take as much time as you can to get the home plate. You want to give him a little blow in that dugout. And especially on an afternoon like this where it's very warm and humid. All weekend on, I guess they're supposed to have conditions like this, close to 90 degrees. Very humid conditions for this time of the year in Chicago. We've been in Chicago where it's been hot, but not generally this early like this.
It's just like St. Louis.
Yeah.
St. Louis was just as hot. And today, of course, so the Red Sox didn't have to play any day games in St. Louis. It was hot at night against the Cardinals in that 3-game series, and hot here today. 0-2 to Nefi Perez. Flight out to center field his first time up. As Michael Barrett at second base with 2 down. And tight with hard stuff, 89 miles per hour that time from Arroyo. Nefi Perez in his second season with the Cubs after coming up with the Colorado Rockies first for 6 seasons, 2 years with the Kansas City Royals, 1 with the Giants, and now year number 2 here with the Cubs. From the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. It's a little warm in there today.
Oh, man. That's up high, too. Straight away center field.
The annual scoreboard here with both the National League and the American League up there. Of course, Interleague today is a swing and a miss by Perez, but a big inning for the Cubs. A solo shot for Jeremy Burnett. A 2-run home run for Todd Hollinsworth. And the Cubs lead it 3-0.
Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Albert's Furniture Showplace. Just what you're looking for in a furniture store.
From the fastest and strongest to the most capable and most powerful Dodge Ram trucks. Matched by none, envied by all.
Come on, man, floor it! Need tires? Town Fair Tire, New England's largest volume discount tire dealer, where you always get the guaranteed lowest prices on Toyo tires. At Town Fair Tire, you always get free mounting, free flat repair, free tire rotation, free snow tire changeover, free front wheel alignment, guaranteed lowest price. So when you need tires, get the guaranteed lowest prices on Toyo tires. Town Fair Tire always guarantees the lowest price. Because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
When it comes to the quality of our suits, our customers find that we're like a small men's boutique. And it's only when they see the price that we're like a warehouse. Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Know the score before the game with the only 1-hour pregame show in the majors. Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe pregame report. 1 hour before game time, only on NESN.
Greg Maddux now has a 3-run lead as the Cubs score 3 times in the bottom of the second inning. He's retired the first 6 Red Sox that he's faced today. And the bottom third of the Red Sox order batting. Bill Miller sprays one out to left center field. That's going to one-hop the wall. Corey Patterson gathering it, but into second base with the leadoff double goes Bill Miller.
Bill Miller's always had very good success against Maddux. A .323 hitter coming into the ball game today, and he jumps on the first pitch opposite field. Now, I asked about the ground rule, Don, if the ball gets stuck out there in the ivory, and I guess what happens if you're an outfielder, you've got to put your arms up. If you put your arms up, it's a double. If you go digging for it, the ball's in play.
Wow. So you're almost better off just to say, forget it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who knows if you get it out of the ivy. As Bill Miller stands at second base, here's Mark Bellhorn swinging at the first pitch, fouling it off to the left. That's Bill Miller's mom before the ball game here. I know you had met him in St. Louis. They made the trip here to Chicago as well.
You know what I told his mom? I said, you should be very proud of your son. I said, you have a very, very nice young man with a lot of class. That's what I told his mom.
That's absolutely true.
And she liked that. Well, she knew that.
Well, she did a great job. She raised a batting champion, too, which isn't too bad.
But she loved him even if he finished second that year.
A strike to Bellhorn. And the count is 1-2. First 6 batters retired by Maddux, who had 1, 2, 3 innings in each of the first 2. Bill Miller with a double to begin this inning. And Bellhorn taking the pitch inside. This guy's got everything.
What is that? The claw? What is that?
The Cub claw. It's a Cub claw.
Looks like you on last call.
One hop to first base. Derek Lee to first base, handles it himself. On to third goes Bill Miller.
Well, job well done by Bellhorn. Contact. If you're going to make it out, advance the base runner. Still very early in this ball game, and as you can tell, the ball flying here today.
So now the infield to come in for the Cubs. Bronson Arroyo batting 4 for 54 in his career, as he was, of course, with the Pittsburgh Pirates first in the major leagues before coming to the Red Sox.
Now here's something very seldom you would see in the American League, right? The Cubs have a 3-0 lead, but the pitch is hitting. So what do? They bring the infield in. That's something you would never see in the American League, a 3-0 score. A 3-0 lead this early in the game, the infield in, but it's because the pitch is hitting.
And a strike in there to Arroyo. Lead off third base for Bill Miller as Arroyo strikes out. Second strikeout for Greg Maddux. 2 down in the inning.
Strikeout high on the season for Maddux is 10. He did that against the New York Mets about 6 starts ago. Quickly gets ahead, 2 strikes, and goes to the curveball to put away Arroyo.
So 2 down. Johnny Damon the batter. Second time through the Red Sox order now for Greg Maddux. Damon struck out looking in the first inning. Bill Miller started the inning with a leadoff double. He stands at third as Damon takes a pitch outside. Now Greg Maddux on his way up to the Cubs back in 1986 pitched in Massachusetts for the AA Pittsfield Cubs. And went to Iowa and got to Chicago, making his major league debut in 1986. Mentioned earlier, he's now 39 years of age. A 16-11 record last year in his first year back with the Cubs. He is a 2-time 20-game winner. Passing to Damon, falling behind 3-1. Johnny Damon, 5th on the list with runners in scoring position. Jock Jones on top for the Twins. Damon after the 3-1 and grounds it foul outside of first.
Remember the other day we were mentioning a batting practice fastball? That's exactly what that was to Damon. A 3-1 count. He took something off the fastball and had Damon out in front of it.
A 3-2 pitch to Damon. Ball 4, he walks him. So the first walk of the day given up by Greg Maddux. And Damon down to first base to continue the inning. So 2 down. Miller at third, Damon at first, and here comes Edgar Renteria. The Red Sox shortstop lined out to right field his first time up. Very tough series in St. Louis as he returned to St. Louis for the first time since leaving the Cardinals and was just 2 for 13 in the series. He did homer in his last at bat as Renteria takes the first pitch strike.
You can run on Maddux. Maddux, pretty slow delivery to home plate.
2 Renteria. The count evens up at 1-1. Just to further your point, Jerry, base stealers against Maddux this season. 10 stolen bases in 12 tries.
Now, I remember when Jimmy Williams was managing here with the Red Sox, and the Red Sox didn't run very much, but when he faced Maddux in interleague play, he had him going.
Perez knocks it down, throws to first, and can't get Renteria. The run scores. Miller comes from third with the first Red Sox run.
El Nefi Perez knocks it down. He had no chance at second base, and I'm stunned that it's this close at first base. There's the play by Perez, strong throwing arm, and very close play at first. I don't think Renteria got out of the box very well.
Renteria gets credit for a hit and an RBI. His 23rd RBI of the season, so the Red Sox have their first run of the game. Runners at first and second. David Ortiz stands in. In the air to right field, Burnitz with room in front of the track to make the catch. It ends the inning. The Red Sox come up with a run in the third at the end of 2.5. It's 3-1 Chicago.
Hi, I'm Michael Jaggelinser from Somerset Chrysler Jeep. Your spring adventure starts here in a trail-rated Jeep or the inspirational new Chrysler.
Get a 2005 Grand Cherokee starting at $239 a month, or a 2005 Town & Country starting at $189 a month.
Come in today for the spring sales event at Somerset Chrysler Jeep.
Have you ever had the feeling you're driving the wrong car? Come to the car store and find the car that's right for you at a price that you can afford. We use 15 different lenders to assist you with financing, so come see us today. Exit 25 off 95 on the Providence-Pawtucket line.
At a department store, you can get great-looking shoes for a price like this. At K&G, you can get shoes that look just as good. For a lot less. At K&G, you'll find incredible savings on a wide variety of department store fashions. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for less.
Hi, I'm Jay Garant. Spring is just around the corner and the deals are really heating up here at Somerset Subaru.
Drive away in a 2005 Outback for just $199 a month, or a 2005 Forester for just $219 a month.
So hurry into Somerset Subaru for the best selection and savings in southern New England.
Edgar Renteria picks up an RBI in that inning for the Red Sox, but lucky he did. He really didn't get out of the batter's box very hard, and then when he started running, he slowed down again. Now he starts to run, now he'll slow down and then pick it up again, and that play was a lot closer than it really should have been.
So Renteria does get credit for the infield hit and the RBI that gets the Red Sox on the board. They trail 3-1 to the Cubs. The Cubs coming to bat here in the last half of the third inning. It'll be Corey Patterson, Derek Lee, and Jeremy Burnitz face Bronson Arroyo. Had a very tough second inning. Home runs for Burnitz and Hollinsworth. The latter a 2-run shot. And the Cubs coming up with 3 runs. Patterson takes strike 1. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Mini 2-game hitting streak coming into today's action. He waves at that pitch. The 0-2 is hopped up into foul ground. David Ortiz and Bellhorn, and it's Bellhorn. The bullpen area climbing back up there to make the catch for the first out of the inning. Red Sox baseball on UPN 38 is brought to you by Derek Lee batting with 1 out.
That's a good thing Bellhorn was there to make that catch, because David Ortiz, I don't believe, saw that ball.
He was good, what, 10, 15 feet away from it, and he was sort of camped underneath.
Had his hands out to the side like he had no idea where the baseball was. Here's Ortiz, got the glove up. Now look at the hands going. I don't know where it is. Good thing Bellhorn did.
Derek Lee fooled on the 2-0 pitch with a swing and a miss. He is the leader in the National League in batting average coming into today's action at .378. The leader in home runs with 17. He's second in RBIs. To Carlos Lee, who has 55 RBIs. He's got 52 RBIs on the season.
Bronson Arroyo paints the outside corner, and Lee didn't agree with it.
A 2-2 pitch. Into right center field, a base hit. Over is Trot Nixon to gather it. Derek Lee with the base hit now has a 6-game hitting streak.
Now that's pretty impressive for a guy that's known as a power hitter. 2 strikes, he gets the breaking ball and just flicks at it. Tries to stay away from the strikeout. Just takes it to the opposite field. Didn't try to pull it. Just make contact, and he gets the base hit.
So 1 out, 1 on, and here's Jeremy Burnitz, who hit a solo home run. His first time up now. 9 home runs on the season for Burnitz. Jeremy Burnitz now 36 years old. Most home runs he's had in any season was 38 home runs. That was with the Milwaukee Brewers back in 1998. Spent 7 seasons with the Brewers. And it was this home run that got the afternoon started off for the Cubs. Led off the second inning as Burnitz getting his 9th home run of the season. One of 2 home runs that inning for the Cubs. Todd Hollandsworth had the other. On the ground, a foul ball outside of first.
In this ballpark, one with very little foul territory, especially down the lines. Ortiz popping off the bag, but the ball clearly in foul territory. Kind of strange behind home plate. It does dig deep back behind home plate, so there is some area to catch some pop-ups.
And it's waiting on the 1-1 as he dances back out of the way and a pitch down and in. Seven of the 8 home runs given up by Bronson Arroyo have been by left-handed hitters. He's ready with the 2-1 pitch. And it's fists it out towards left center field, in for a hit. Over comes Damon to play it. And all of a sudden the Cubs have runners at first and second with 1 down.
A little surprised not to see Lee challenge Johnny Damon's arm out there in center field. As a matter of fact, the way Johnny fielded the ball, it looked like he expected Lee to be on third base. When Johnny gets it, he just looks right into second base. And I think he was stunned to see that Lee was still there.
So 1 down, runners at first and second. Aramis Ramirez. His single to left field his first time up. And a pitch, a strike. Ramirez does not agree. Look back at Ed Montague. So far with 6 hits in 2 1/3 innings off Bronson Arroyo. They have scored 3 times already and are threatening for more. But Derek Lee at second base, Jeremy Burnitz at first, and 1 down. Arroyo bluffs off the backside of the hill.
Lee has 9 steals on the season. He's only been caught 1 time.
One guy is doing it all for the Cubs. As this is fouled off down the right field line. His offensive numbers have been outstanding. He can run. And picking up a lot of the slack for any of the injured guys that the Cubs have. Certainly Nomar Garciaparra at the top of that list. The 0-2 pitch. Ramirez fouls it off. Of course, on April 20th, the season changed dramatically for the Chicago Cubs and for Nomar Garciaparra. Right out of the box, went down, and a severe groin injury, which has him on the shelf for the foreseeable future. He's been working out in Arizona and gingerly trying to get himself back to playing shape again, but a certain setback for Dusty Baker and for Nomar Garciaparra and the Cubs. Nomar signing the one-year deal here prior to the season. Incentive-laden deal as well. And Nomar not having the chance to play now. Long pause, and the 0-2. This is up top, 1-2.
Of course, Mark Pryor getting hit on the elbow with a line drive back to the box. He also on the disabled list, and he's lucky that it's not worse than what it actually is. He's actually playing catch now, as is Kerry Wood.
Well, getting thrown behind is Ramirez. The runner's trying to move up, and Veritek fires it into left field. Derek Lee will score. The throw to third's not in time. Lee had reached the bag at third, and for some reason Veritek at that point decided to throw, and he fired it into left field to Manny Ramirez, and Derek Lee just kept going. He scores the fourth Cubs run.
Yeah, the whole play a total disaster. First the ball behind Ramirez, and then for some reason Veritek felt like he could throw him out at third base. I mean, he had no chance at all, and the ball just goes flying out into left field. So there's a gift run for the Cubs. Red Sox pull the infield in now with a 1 out.
The wild pitch to move the runners up. The E2 that scores Derek Lee from third allows Burnitz to get to third base. As you mentioned, the infield in all the way around, and Ramirez, after the 2-2, carves it foul off to the right. It's the fourth miscue of the season for Jason Veritek. From third comes Burnitz, and the Cubs lead it 5-1. The RBI single for Aramis Ramirez in a lengthy at bat.
Infield drawn in, a perfect time to be a hitter. The wide open spot between third and short, and because of the wild pitch and the error, another run comes across. Dave Wallace slowly making his way out to the mound to talk to Bronson Arroyo. Well, you mentioned that place in Arizona where Nomar's working out, and of course that's where Kurt Schilling also is doing some of his work. Of course, right to our right is Kurt's former manager, Bob Brenly, of the world champion Arizona Diamondbacks, now doing color analyst for the Chicago Cubs.
Now, he was broadcaster, I should say player, broadcaster, manager, back to broadcaster again.
Right? Actually, coach. He also did some coaching before becoming the manager. I think it was, first of all, coach, broadcaster, manager, and now analyst again. And of course, to our left, the very famous Ron Santo doing the radio games here in Chicago.
There's Ron Santo. And of course, wherever you go here, pictures everywhere of Harry Carey, as you might imagine, including his likeness above the press box. But it's throughout the ballpark as well. You can't come here without thinking about Harry Carey. And a little bit later, I don't know, I think they said Chris Chelios is doing the honors today at Jack O'Callahan. Today, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," 7th inning stretch. We will have that live for you as this one has popped up foul. Hey, you can't come here and not carry that live. That's huge. The 7th inning stretch from Wrigley Field.
They've had some characters over the years. I remember Ditka trying to sing it here.
He's done it a couple of times. Not good. Todd Walker, a strikeout victim his first time up. Arroyo's got 3 Ks today. Ramirez with the lead at first as Walker lifts it down the right field line. Nixon on the run. It will land harmlessly in foul ground down by the bullpen. Well, so far a fast start for the Cubs offense. 7 for 14 today as Arroyo works with 1 out in the last half of the 3rd inning. That's after a 1-2-3 first. Swinging, and Walker fouls it off himself and goes down.
I think Cub fans cringe every time they see a player drop to the ground because of an injury. They've seen enough of it so far this season. Right on top of that cut fastball, and that just drops Walker. Walker does that quite a bit. I remember he did it a lot with the Red Sox, and the reason for that, he's got that slight uppercut swing, so they have a tendency to hit on top of the baseball a lot.
Ramirez at first base, 1 down, and a ball and 2 strikes to Todd Walker. Walker sends it to the backstop. Now the Red Sox offense all of a sudden, well, they're 3rd in the major leagues in runs scored. Now the Red Sox have scored only 7 runs in their last 3 games, and only 1 run so far here today. Cubs have scored 5 runs, 3 last inning, 2 so far this inning, as Walker takes the ball outside.
Trying to go backdoor with the breaking ball, and yes, it's definitely off the outside edge as Walker will kind of head back. Is he heading back to the dugout?
2-2 lined into center field. That'll fall for a base hit. 4th consecutive hit for Chicago. Ramirez stops at second base on the single for Todd Walker.
Well, if things don't change drastically, this is going to be a very early afternoon for Bronson Arroyo. These Cub hitters all over him today. And it looks like we are now going to get some action down in the Red Sox bullpen. John Halama,
a long man for the Red Sox, getting up. Halama worked in the series against the Cardinals. And the first reliever up as Arroyo's run into more trouble here in the 3rd. Hollingsworth gave him trouble last inning as he hit a 2-run home run out of the ballpark to right. Second season for Hollingsworth here with the Cubs. After coming up with the Los Angeles Dodgers first, then a few seasons with Colorado, 1 with Texas, 1 with Florida, and last year a member of the Cubs. National League Rookie of the Year. Part of an incredible run for the Dodgers of Rookie of the Years. Fouled off down the left field line, backing out of play. Mentioned that he homered off Bronson Arroyo. This was it. His 2nd home run of the season. Out onto Sheffield Avenue. He bats now with runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out in the inning. Line foul down beyond the Red Sox dugout. They've added a couple of new rows of seats, about 3 rows of seats around that area down there and in behind home plate that they did not have before, reducing a little bit of the foul ground that was here at Wrigley Field. the dirt. Did you get a chance to get down to the dugout today?
Yeah, I did.
Very small.
Yeah, everything's small. Everything's small. I got to tell you, if I worked here every day, I'm not sure I could make it down to the field every day and back up here. Thank God there was air conditioning in the lunchroom. Thank God.
There's its second. Walker at first, and Arroyo backs off. The wind is blowing out today at Wrigley Field. So far, the Cubs with a couple of home runs. This one in the air to short left. Manny coming in. And Ramirez puts it away for out number 2.
Well, fans, now you can receive in-game alert scores, breaking news, and more instantly on your mobile phone. Simply text the words Red Sox to 65246 or MLB GO from your mobile phone. A $3.99 per month charge will appear on your bill as long as you remain subscribed. For Red Sox fans on the go, text Red Sox to 65246. That's Major League Baseball GO.
Runners at first and second, 2 down for Michael Barrett, who singled to left field his first time up.
It's funny, Don, when I was playing in the minor leagues in Davenport, Iowa, Quad Cities, Cubs games were on every afternoon. At those days, they didn't play any night games at all. So every day there was a Cubs game on TV. So that's what we used to watch all the time.
20 minutes ago, Greg Maddux walked off the mound. He's had to wait a while as Bronson Arroyo's now thrown 35 pitches in the inning. This is number 35. And it's in there for a strike. And of course, WGN, the superstation, reaching a great amount of the country. And a chance to watch a lot of Cubs games across the country. Arroyo's already up to 76 pitches as he works with 2 down here in the last half of the 3rd inning. Pitch in there for a strike. Last time out, Arroyo in 6 innings against the Los Angeles Angels through 103 pitches. Most he's thrown in any outing this season is 113. Did that against the Tigers back on May 5th in a win. Right center field. Damon on the run, headed deep to right center, and Johnny can't make the catch. It's off his glove. From second, Ramirez scores. Walker all the way from first. 2 more runs for the Cubs, and they lead it 7-1.
You could see the wind continually push that ball away from Johnny Damon. Johnny, when he started out, I don't think believed it was going to travel as far as it did. There goes Damon. Now he has to pick it up as the wind pushes it, and he's not going to be able to make the play right off the glove. He's kind of drifting after that ball, Don, thinking that he was going to be able to make a catch on it, but the wind just kept pushing it and pushing it away from Damon. This is getting ugly early.
It's a double and 2 runs batted in for Michael Barrett. And now Greg Maddux takes a strike from Arroyo. Most earned runs that Arroyo has given up is 7 on the season. And that was in an 8-1 loss against Baltimore. He gave up 7 of the 8 runs that the Orioles had on May 30th. And here today, he has surrendered 7 runs so far. So the sacrifice bunt, his first time up. A swing and a miss. The 8th Chicago Cub to bat here in the 3rd inning. High chopper. Ortiz at first has got it, and he'll take it himself to end the inning, but the damage done. 4 runs for the Cubs, and they lead it 7-1 at the end of 3.
Smile, Red Sox See this? Know what this is? It's an anchor, a dead end, a technological one-trick pony. That's why when anything new comes along with satellite, either you can't get it or you have to buy new equipment. With cable, on the other hand, when something new comes along, you've got it. Video on demand, done. Local high def, easy. High-speed internet, piece of cake. Yep, when you're connected to Adelphia, you've got it all.
Think just a handful of people win Maine Lottery games? You've just scratched the surface. In 2004, Maine Lottery winners won a total of nearly $117 million, and thousands more win every day. That's a lot of winning.
Hi, I'm John Scherer, CEO and founder of Video Professor. Well, I'm the one that makes computer learning quick and easy with these CD-ROM lessons from Video Professor. I'm so confident that my product will work for you that I'm going to send you any one of our $70 lessons absolutely free. If you're serious about learning to run the computer once and for all, try my product.
To get your free computer learning CD, you must call now. Call 1-800-598-5797.
Fight mannequinism. Log on.
Extra innings and Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra, featuring game highlights, interviews, and post-game analysis today after the game on NESN.
Top half of the fourth inning, and the Red Sox trailing by 6 runs. The Cubs on top 7-1. Manny Ramirez, Trot Nixon, and Jason Varitek expected in the inning. And Maddux with a 6-run lead now takes the hill. Maddux coming into his outing today with a record of 4-3. Last time out for him a win against San Diego. He's won his last 2 starts. And he shoots one to center, but there's Corey Patterson for the first out here in the top half of the fourth inning. Yeah, wins each of the last 2 times out for Maddux. He beat the Dodgers 5-3 at Dodger Stadium on May 30th. Then June 4th, able to beat San Diego, going 6 innings in each of those efforts. With just 89 pitches his last time out. He's at 47 pitches with 1 down here in the fourth inning, and here's Trot Nixon. Grounded out to second base his first time up. So far, not a lot to cheer about for Red Sox fans. A strike, and Nixon down 0-2. Swing for Nixon out towards left center field, and diving to make the catch is Hollinsworth. Todd Hollinsworth, a long way to run, gets there and makes the diving catch, 2 down.
You know, I've said this many times, but when you play behind a guy that works quickly and throws strikes like Maddux does, you have a tendency to play good defense behind a guy like that. Very nice play by Hollinsworth. He's having a pretty good day, isn't he? 2-run home run, a nice defensive play there.
He's got 2 outs on 4 pitches, and of course pitching with a 6-run lead now.
Yep. That's Maddux.
Jason Varitek batting for the second time, lined out to shortstop his first time up. Dropped 2 out of 3 to the Toronto Blue Jays, who were here before the Red Sox arrived. Toronto now 2 games over 500. They're 4.5 games back of Baltimore. Varitek sends one out towards left center field. It's going to one-hop the ivy. As Hollingsworth gets there first, but Varitek into second base with a 2-out double. The third Boston hit of the day.
Yeah, both Varitek's double and Bill Miller's double almost the identical same spot. And that's a very good approach against Maddux. Don't try to pull him. That ball down and away shoots the gap to the 368. So the 2-out double for Jason Varitek in scoring position. Jason Varitek obviously in the top 10 in batting average. Started the game at 322. 1 for 2 in this game now.
Here's Bill Miller who takes the first pitch strike. Miller hits it in the air to right. Jeremy Burnitz is there, and he makes the catch middle of the cap high. Red Sox strand Varitek to a 3.5. Chicago on top 7-1.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Like going to Chicago? On Southwest Airlines, you can fly from Manchester or Providence to Chicago Midway for just $84 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Hi, I'm Michael Jaggelinser from Somerset Chrysler Jeep. We've completed renovations just in time for our spring sales event. Visit our new showroom today and let one of our certified sales consultants show you how easy it is to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. No pressure, no hassles. You can drive this Jeep Liberty for $219 a month or the all-new Grand Cherokee for $239 a month. So come in today for the best deals on America's hottest products. At Somerset Chrysler Jeep, we've made buying a car a whole new ball game.
This is my Massachusetts.
This is my Massachusetts.
This is my Massachusetts.
This is my Massachusetts.
What part of Massachusetts belongs to you? Find it and make it yours at massvacation.com.
Tune in each week at Granite City Electric's Red Sox Rewind reviews the week that was in Red Sox Nation with player profiles, interviews, game highlights, and more. Monday and Tuesday nights on Nesson. It was nice to come back to Chicago and see Jen, who assists us in the booth, and Jen is newly married.
Really?
This year. Up here with her husband today, so congratulations.
We'll see her again when we come back to play the White Sox again.
As a lucky guy, just that Jen's left there.
Well, Bronson Arroyo back on the mound for the Red Sox here in the last half of the 4th inning. Effie Perez leading it off as he grounds it down to first base. Ortiz, but guarding the line, he takes it himself for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. There's Nomar, who has been working out, as mentioned earlier, in Arizona, but here for the weekend series. Don't know if he's going to be here for the whole series, but here today and a press conference before the ball game. And trying to work his way back after the severe groin injury.
I wonder where Nomar lives here in Chicago. I know in Boston he lived down near the waterfront.
This one hit a ton but fouled down the right field line.
Yeah, they tell us in the truck that it seems like he just sold his place in Boston, and I imagine Nomar probably lives downtown. I just have that feeling. It's a great city.
It really is. He could live by the water here as well, the lake.
We went by the beach this morning coming down here.
And Mike Myers is now up on the Red Sox bullpen. Alama had been up last inning. It's surprising to see him up at this juncture of the game. The 0-2 is popped up foul. Varitek giving chase over by the Red Sox dugout. But no chance.
Now there's an area down there between where the stands end and the dugout begins that he's run into twice, and it's hard to tell exactly what that is. It's like a little platform area before you head down into the dugout. See the steps that head down into the dugout, so there's a little extra room between the dugout and the stands to try to make a catch on a pop-up.
0-2 hit in the air to right center field. Damon's not going to get there. That's going to get back to the wall on a hop as Patterson races into second base with a one-out double. His first hit of the day.
Seeing a lot of the back of the uniform in this game of Johnny Damon heading back into that same area, right center field.
So now 7 of the Cubs have at least one hit. Effie Perez, a leadoff hitter. Greg Maddux, a number 9 hitter, without hits as Derek Lee sends it foul off to the right.
This is a club that really is aggressive. They don't walk very much. They're next to last in the league in walks. And they don't strike out very much. So they're up there swinging the bat early in the count. And we've seen that all afternoon against Arroyo.
Tied for second in the National League in batting average at .272 coming into today's action. They're tied with the Colorado Rockies. The Philadelphia Phillies on top of the NL, hitting at .276. It was the runner at second, Patterson for third, and the throw is not in time. The stolen base for Corey Patterson gets him to third base with one down.
His 9th of the season. Yes, it's a 7-1 ball game, but it's still early in the ball game, and the Cubs are going to be aggressive. Red Sox now pull the infield in. The Cubs are making this look easy so far.
And all the way around to the Red Sox, the 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. And it evens up now at 2-2. It's the first stolen base attempt off Bronson Arroyo all season, and Corey Patterson was successful.
And it comes from second base, not first base.
Full count now to Derek Lee. Jeremy Burnitz waits on deck for the Cubs.
That may be why Myers is up. This might be the last hitter for Bronson Arroyo with Burnitz on deck. You may see Myers just for a couple of hitters to end the inning because the pitcher spot comes up second next inning for the Red Sox. So maybe that's why Myers is up at this stage of the game.
Well, the Red Sox trying to preserve the 6-run deficit. Patterson at third base with one down. Foul off to the right, backing out of play.
Well, tomorrow's game on Fox, that's an unusual start time. I believe it's 3 o'clock, isn't it?
Back East Coast time.
East Coast time. And then, of course, ESPN again on Sunday night.
Another late arrival for the Red Sox after the Sunday night game, which, of course, they just had happened in New York as Lee strikes out. 4th strikeout for Bronson Arroyo, 2 down in the inning.
Bronson Arroyo running that fastball down and in on Derek Lee to pick up the strikeout.
So 2 outs. Corey Patterson at third base, and here's Jeremy Burnitz. Burnitz 2 for 2 so far today, a home run and a single, as he takes a strike over the outside corner.
A lot of Red Sox executives here for the weekend. Of course, John Henry we saw on the field prior to the ball game.
So Mike D here.
Mike D, Phil Morris, Sam Kennedy. Phil Morris brought in a World Series miniature trophy.
For the first base, Ortiz on the backhand. He'll flip to Arroyo. And that will end the inning. Patterson left at third base at the end of 4. The Cubs on top 7-1.
Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Albert's Furniture Showplace. Just what you're looking for in a furniture store.
Volvo, Rhode Island's Volvo headquarters, featuring the 2005 Volvo S80 and the 2005 S60. Test drive the all-wheel drive XC70 Cross Country or the 2005 Volvo XC90. Steingold Volvo, where Volvo is all they do. Steingold Volvo is conveniently located at 766 Broadway in Pawtucket, just minutes from Route 95.
If you're getting married, we'll rent you a tuxedo for as little as $50, which is pretty good, considering her dress probably costs as much as your car.
Rent 4 tuxedos, and the groom's is free.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Nesson Sports Desk. Now, New England's first word on sports, night and day.
Sports Desk is now a live and local sports news destination.
Sports Desk, Nesson's award-winning sports news report, now delivers your sports news, views, and analysis each night live at 10 and every morning from 5 to 9.
We are New England's first word on sports, night and day.
Nesson Sports Desk, live at 10 and every morning from 5 to 9.
With CBS Pharmacy, you can expect something extra when a Red Sox home game goes extra innings or the Sox bullpen records a save. CBS will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston.
A beautiful day today in Chicago, but not so for the Red Sox so far as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. The Cubs on top 7-1. So they scored 3 times in the second, 4 times in the third. A lone Boston run coming in the 3rd inning, as Edgar Renteria with an infield single scored Bill Miller from 3rd base with the Red Sox only run. Mark Bellhorn grounded out to first base, his first time up.
I was mentioning, Don, that Phil Morse brought in a miniature World Series trophy, and it's in a big fancy box like the rings were in, and he wants to make a presentation to Wally back at Fenway on Monday or Tuesday, present him with that trophy and also his ring, because he hasn't got his ring yet.
That's right, we've been waiting for Wally's ring.
But you got to see it. I mean, did you see it?
I did. Yeah, it was in the box. Very
big
nice
box, and very nice. I mean, just like the ring box, and the trophy's probably about that big.
And Wally's got his very own now. He's going to have a celebration party. Strike 3 call. Bellhorn strikes out, 3rd strikeout. Let's check in with Dan Roach. Dan?
You've been to Wrigley, haven't you, before?
All right, Don, thank you very much. We're here in one of the unique seats in all of baseball. We're actually not in Wrigley Field. We are on Waveland Avenue, and Larry Fitzgerald is my tour guide here today. Larry, what's the name of the company here? The Ivy on the Roof?
Well, the Ivy on the Roof, right. It's on Sheffield and Addison Street. It's been here for like the last 8 years. So. And
Patty was kind enough to let us in here. Now, how much did you pay to sit atop this building?
It's $175, so it wasn't cheap. But I think it included all the beers you want, all the food you want. So believe me, it's well worth it right now.
And we estimated it's about 575 feet from here to home plate. But you have a tremendous view, and on a 90-degree day, one of the greatest breezes you'll ever get, right?
Wind's blowing out about 20 miles an hour. I'm very happy about that. I got the over in the game.
All right, guys, and again, it's a fascinating view up here. I wish everyone could enjoy this. You got a great view of the game, and Rem, just as we mentioned, 575 feet. So if you're thinking about maybe coming out and taking a little batting practice tomorrow before the game, it's an easy pop for the Rem Dog, that's for sure.
Jerry, you can hit it. You're a lefty hitter. You can hit it, Jerry.
There you go. And all these people like to say hi to everybody back home, guys. All right, they got friends in Yarmouth and everywhere else. We're just gonna have a little party, and we'll send it back to you guys.
Hey, boy, Mike Loman,
all right, Dan, thank you very much. As Kevin Youkiel is pinch hitting for Arroyo, strikes out, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for Maddux, who has really settled into his outing here with the lead.
That is unique. All these seats they have outside of the ballpark. There's looks like to be a changeup down and in to Kevin Youkiel, who is pinch hitting. It is really fun to look out there at all the different seats outside of the ballpark, on top of the rooftops and buildings and apartment buildings.
Emmett sends one to left. Hollinsworth shy of the track, makes the catch. It's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Greg Maddux on just 7 pitches. 7-1 Cubs.
It's the Nissan Now sales event. Lease a new 2005 Altima for only $189 a month, or the new 2005 Maxima for only $299 a month. Nissan of East Providence, Route 44, East Providence.
1 in 5 children will grow up to develop it. Every hour, someone dies from it. And you can get it by simply going outside. It's skin cancer. Protect yourself and your loved ones.
I'm Kurt Schilling.
And I'm Shonda Schilling, a melanoma survivor and founder of the Shade Foundation. Always remember to wear a hat, sunblock, and sunglasses, and stay shaded between 10 and 4.
And see your dermatologist yearly.
Visit our website and learn how to limit the sun, not the fun. Yay!
It's the Nissan Now sales event. Drive the exciting 2005 Titan XE King Cab. 22,777 delivered. Nissan of East Providence, Route 44, East Providence.
7-1, the Cubs on top of the Red Sox as we head to the last half of the 5th inning. Bronson Arroyo done today after 4 innings, charged with 7 runs all earned. And John Halama, the new Red Sox pitcher.
John Halama making his 22nd appearance. He's been busy recently, which, as I mentioned, nothing against Halama, but that's not a real good sign because that means starting pitchers aren't getting deep in the game. Here's the long man for the Red Sox. Halama's last outing Tuesday against St. Louis, a couple of innings in that game, 1 hit, no runs, and 2 strikeouts.
Ramos Ramirez, Todd Walker, and Todd Hollinsworth scheduled to bat here in the 5th. Ramirez 2 for 2, a couple of singles, 1 to left, and the other to left as well. He's also got an RBI. Former Pittsburgh Pirate. But after the first pitch from Halama popped up into short right. Nixon coming in, and the wind played with a little bit, and Trout's able to make the catch.
You know, you look around this ballpark, Don, and there are no video scoreboards. Am I correct? I mean, that shows,
absolutely correct.
Shows you, the replays and all that. It's very basic. Very few signs.
The only stadium left in the major leagues that does not have any kind of automated scoreboard or diamond vision. And everything manual out there on the scoreboard in center field. The away scores, balls and strikes, the line score, all manual. Todd Walker's 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single. Back to the rooftops. You get an attendance number here, but it's not factual because you can't count the rooftops out there, as this one is hit a ton to right. Will it stay fair? Down towards the corner, and a foul ball. Off the bat of Todd Walker, who has 2 home runs so far this season.
That's true. I wonder what the total number of people that are on top of these homes and apartments and business buildings would be.
Looks like a lot from foul pole to foul pole.
Now what do they do? I mean, if you live in that building, you charge your own fees for a game?
I guess that's the way it works. Yeah, you can charge what you want. I know there was one problem here at one point where they actually put up a screen to block some of them. And a battle between the team and some of the owners of those facilities. As Bellhorn throws out Walker, and there's 2 down.
Boston Globe Sports Plus. It's sports plus a whole lot more. Now with 2 shows each week featuring news, interviews, and analysis from Boston Globe sports writers. Wednesday through Saturday nights on NESN.
2 down. And here's Todd Hollingsworth, who takes a breaking ball for a strike. Hollingsworth with a 2-run home run back in the 2nd inning. And that flied out to left field in the 3rd inning. A 1-for-2 showing. Hollingsworth from Dayton, Ohio. A longtime Los Angeles Dodger before going to the Rockies. And in his 2nd season here with the Cubs, had a fine first season, hitting at .318 last year. And missed quite a bit of time. He fouled the ball off his right shin. June 27th, out the remainder of the season with the right shin contusion. So somewhat of a lost year for him. Played 57 games last year for the Cubs. You see the shin guard there and the shin of his right leg. Lama ahead, 0-2. Missing away, a ball and 2 strikes. Lama the first out of the bullpen. Arroyo 4 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs. Bronson did not walk anybody and struck out 4. Popped up in the infield. Bellhorn coming from second base onto the infield grass. And the Cubs are gone in order in the 5th. We played 5 from Chicago. The Cubs on top 7-1.
Been patient. Now it's here. Introducing the all-new redesigned 2005 Jetta. Preview it now at Scott Volkswagen in East Providence.
The all-new Dodge Dakota is the mid-size pickup designed to give you more. Whether you choose a club cab or quad cab, a fuel-efficient V6, or the only available V8 in its class, you're going to get more room, more power, and more style. You're also going to get a 5-star frontal crash test rating and our 770 powertrain limited warranty. The all-new Dodge Dakota. It's a lot more truck.
So, you're looking for the best value on your business checking. Hey, we get it. You're trying to grow your business. Well, good news. Free business checking from Sovereign Bank gives you all the features you need with no minimum balance and no monthly maintenance fee. You get free online banking, free cash deposit processing, and a no annual fee business ATM or Visa check card. I told you it was good news. Get free business checking today. It's everything you need to build a better business account. Sovereign Bank.
Now that you've seen it, it's time to drive it. The all-new redesigned 2005 Jetta, starting at just $17,900 at Scott Volkswagen in East Providence. That's right, only $17,900 now at Scott Volkswagen in East Providence.
7-1. Chicago has the lead, and Greg Maddux has been very, very good today. And when you watch these replays of Maddux strikeouts, everything on a corner. Inside corner to Johnny Damon. Breaking ball to the pitch of Bronson Arroyo. Inside corner again to Bellhorn. And down and in on Kevin Youkilis on a changeup. Nothing down the middle of the plate. The only exception was that breaking ball, but that was to the pitch of Bronson Arroyo.
Pitching line is brought to you by Bernie and Phil's Furniture. Quality, comfort, and price. That's nice. Greg Maddux, 5 innings so far. 3 hits and a run. The infield hit for Edgar Renteria scored Bill Miller back in the 3rd inning. And it is Edgar Renteria who leads it off here in the top half of the 6th. Edgar's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Renteria, Ortiz, and Ramirez expected in the inning for the Red Sox, trailing by 6 runs. Renteria with a swing and a miss. Greg Maddux tied with Mickey Welch for 19th on Major League Baseball's all-time win list with 309 career victories. This one back to him. One of the game's best fielding pitchers picks it and throws out Renteria.
Yeah, you know, Maddux does a lot of things to help himself. Obviously being a great pitcher, but also he can help himself swinging the bat, and he's always been an outstanding defensive performer from that pitcher's spot. What has he got, 14 Gold Gloves?
14 of them. So one away, and here's David Ortiz, who's 0 for 2. He's fly to center, fly to right. And hits one high in the air to deep right field. Jeremy Burnett's back, looking up, and it is gone. One of the back row of the bleachers in right, a towering home run for David Ortiz. His 15th home run of the season.
Maddux with the fastball to Ortiz out over the plate. He wanted that pitch in. You could see where Barrett was sitting inside. Leaves it out over, and Ortiz into the final row of the bleachers.
And a Red Sox fan who got it. Generally, you'll find the opponent home run balls thrown back into the outfield, but that guy's not going to give that one up. As a Red Sox fan catching a David Ortiz home run ball, that ain't going back. It's the 11th home run that Greg Maddux has surrendered this season. For Ortiz, it's his 15th round tripper. And the Red Sox get their second run at 7-2 Cubs. Ramirez 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third, lined out to center. Ramirez with a count of 0-2. Manny hits one in the air to deep left field. Hollingsworth back onto the warning track to make the catch. The second out, and there's 2 down.
It sounded good when it left the bat, but didn't have the legs.
It's only the second home run in 7 starts against the Red Sox that Greg Maddux has allowed. The one to David Ortiz. Daubach had the other.
It's the changeup down, and it's toward the end of the bat for Ramirez. It sounded better from up here than actually the contact, because I thought it was going to go deeper than that. Toward the end of the bat.
Nixon to right field. Burnett's coming in, makes the catch, and the Red Sox are gone, but Ortiz gets the Red Sox second run on his 15th home run. 7-2 Chicago.
Maybe this isn't the best time to say it, but I think you're really beautiful.
Well, I've always been attracted to you too, Paul.
Wait, hold on one sec, babe. Excuse me?
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines from Manchester or Providence to Philadelphia for just $39 one way. Southwest Airlines.
You are now free to move about the country.
What's tough? Ford Super Duty. It has something no other truck has. An integrated tow command trailer brake system. With Super Duty, you not only get the best-in-class power, payload, and towing, you get to keep it all in control.
Right now, get up to $3,500 total savings on Ford Super Duty. Includes a premium gift package worth $500 from the Home Depot at no extra charge. Ford Super Duty is the best-selling truck for 28 straight years.
Find out the truth about trucks at your New England Ford dealer.
PartyPoker.net's Boston, New York Poker Challenge at Turning Stone. It's Team Texas Hold'em with a twist.
New Yorkers are not good sports. Boston guys are good sports.
They're playing for cash and all talking trash.
Have you ever heard anyone say, if I could just make it to Boston? I mean, I don't even know where Boston is.
Boston versus New York. The rivalry moves from the field to the felt. Sunday at 6, only on NESN.
We want to remind you that every Tuesday you can ask Larry Lucchino a question in our executive mailbag on the Olympia Sports Presents the Boston Globe pregame report. Visit NESN.com, click on the pregame link, and submit your questions to Larry, and he'll answer them here every week. What does Red Sox Nation want to know about? Let us know by logging on to NESN.com.
Mention all kinds of Red Sox fans are here. Also wanted to mention that some of the Lawrence firefighters are here. They want to say hello to their friends and colleagues back in Lawrence, Massachusetts. A chance to meet some of them before the ball game. There's Michael Barrett to lead it off for the Cubs, in there for a strike. John Halama out there for his second inning of relief. Halama retired the Cubs 1-2-3 in the 5th inning. Michael Barrett 2 for 2 today, a single and a double. He has driven in a pair of runs. Check swing grounder off the mound is Halama. Ortiz will cover the bag, and they retire Michael Barrett for the first out of the inning. The out-of-town scores are brought to you by your Boston area Volvo retailers. Volvo, the official car of the Boston Red Sox. And on the night schedule, the Yankees at St. Louis. Wong against Marquee in that action tonight. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Rodrigo Lopez against Aaron Harang. Detroit will be at Colorado. Mike Maroth 4-6 against Jamie Ray 3-5. Seattle at Washington. Joel Pinheiro against Tony Armas Jr. as Maddux hits one to deep left center field, and it is gone. A home run for Greg Maddux. What a day for him, doing the pitching and now the hitting. The Cubs lead at 8-2.
His first of the season. He's got 5 hits total on the season and the first home run. We told you down earlier, this guy, you know, it's the whole package. It's not just the pitching. He can do it offensively, what he needs to have done, and he can also do it defensively.
Well, this one up and off the glove of Renteria and into center field. And now everybody in the starting 9 has at least a hit for the Cubs.
Greg Maddux getting that fastball out over the plate and finding the bleachers out there in left field.
I wanted Maddux to come out. He just gave him the curtain call. And his 5th career home run, and helped out his own cause here today, with the Cubs now on top 8-2 with 1 out. Lefty Perez at first base, and here's Corey Patterson.
I'll tell you what, you don't want to miss the first pitch against these Cubs. I mean, they jump on that first pitch.
Very aggressive. His last home run, May 30th of 1999, was off Kevin Brown. Now the member of the Yankees. 1999, Maddux with 2 home runs. Well, he's got his first of this season. To right center field. Nixon was deep. Now he's coming full bore, and he'll make the running catch to retire Corey Patterson, and there's 2 down. And we'll head back to the scoreboard with the schedule tonight. Tampa Bay at Pittsburgh. Hideo Nomo 3-5 against Mark Redmond 3-4. The Angels will be at Shea Stadium to take on the Mets. Bartolo Colon 7-3 against Kaz Ishii. Texas at Florida. Chen Ho Park, who's 6-1 for the Rangers against A.J. Burnett. He's had a disappointing season, 3-4 so far this year. Oakland at Atlanta. Danny Herron against Kyle Davies. Toronto will be at Houston. Ted Lilly and Wandy Rodriguez. Kansas City at Arizona. Greinke against Ortiz. Chicago White Sox at San Diego. John Garland, who's 9-2 for the White Sox against Woody Williams, 2-3. Cleveland at San Francisco. CC Sabathia against Brett Tomko. Minnesota will play at Los Angeles Dodgers. Joe Mays against Brad Penny. And in a National League matchup, it's Milwaukee against Philadelphia. Victor Santos against Brett Myers. The score is brought to you by Volvo. 2 down here in the last half of the 6th inning. Greg Maddux's home run has given the Cubs an 8-2 lead. Nefi Perez at first base. The 0-2 pitch to Derek Lee. In the dirt and corralled by Jason Varitek. Three home runs today for the Cubs. Jeremy Burnett's with a solo shot. Todd Hollandsworth with a 2-run home run. Both of those off Bronson Arroyo. And John Halama this inning surrendering a solo home run to Greg Maddux. Red Sox have a home run of their own in the top half of this inning. David Ortiz, a solo shot to right field, his 15th home run of the season. In the dirt, and the count evens up at 2-2. The Chicago Cubs beginning the day 6.5 games back of the St. Louis Cardinals. And as we saw in the Volvo scoreboard, the Cardinals will be hosting the Yankees beginning tonight. 3-game series. Lama's 2-2. Away and a full count now. Lama had been ahead 0-2, but it's a full count. Cubs are in the midst of a 9-game homestand over 10 days. They started this homestand by losing 2 out of 3 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's the runner at first as this is in the air to deep right field. Nixon heading back onto the warning track. It's off the ivy. Perez, who is off with the pitch, trying to score from first base, will. And into second base with an RBI double goes Derek Lee, and the Cubs lead it 9-2.
Well, Lee picks up his 53rd RBI of the season. I'll tell you what, we mentioned the wind blowing out, but it's been all Cubs here today, and we're seeing a lot of the numbers of the Red Sox outfielders as they turn around to track the ball back to the wall. Second time today, Lee is going in that direction. Back in the 3rd inning on a curveball, got a base hit that way. This time into the bush of trees or whatever it is, and it bounces out for Trot Nixon. What is that? I mean, is
ivy?
It is ivy?
Yes. Shrubbery.
Yeah, I mean,
bush has covered it. You did all right.
Whatever it is, it's grass and something, mold.
Jeremy Burnett's 2 hits today. He's 2 for 3, including his 9th home run of the season. That's a foul above the Red Sox dugout on the first base side. There's your shrubs.
I mean, it looks like a tree to me, you know, like a tree you have in your backyard with regular leaves on it.
Yeah, very leafy.
I mean, is it like special stuff? Is it special?
It's special leaves. Wrigley Field leaves.
Boston ivy.
Yes, Boston ivy. In Wrigley Field. It's not been kind to the Red Sox.
Good thing it's not poison ivy, because Damon and Nixon would have poison ivy all over them. I'm getting the baseballs out of there today.
Cubs with 9 runs. 2 of them coming here in the 6th inning. Derek Lee at second base. The 1-2 to Jeremy Burnett. Foul down the right field line, back and out of play. Tie-dye going on out there.
Like bad Bahamas Bavaquas with the sleeves cut off.
In the dirt, Varitek lunging to his left. And it evens up at 2-2. Season high for the Cubs in runs is 16. They did that on opening day against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And off Javier Vasquez. They have 9 runs so far here today against the Red Sox. In the air to deep right field. Nixon looking up, and that is way gone. Jeremy Burnett's hitting his 2nd home run of the afternoon. The 4th home run of the day for the Cubs. It's a 2-run shot. Chicago leads at 11-2.
Now Halama wants to try to get the breaking ball away from Burnett's. Instead, it stays down and in, and that's really into the power of Jeremy Burnett's. That's the location of that pitch. Veritek wants it away. It stays down and in, and the result, another home run.
23rd multi-home run game for Jeremy Burnett's. Aramis Ramirez now takes the pitch in the dirt. And Burnett's a 3-for-4 day, 3 RBIs, 2 home runs. And the Cubs have opened things up. On top now, 11-2. Ramirez has been on base twice today, a couple of hits and an RBI, both singles to left. He's also flied to right. Well, the Red Sox heading into this afternoon's game. The Red Sox have dropped their last 8 road series openers. The Red Sox so far away from Fenway Park in the first game of a series, 2-9 on the season, but 8 in a row coming into today. And if the Red Sox lose, it'll be 9 in a row. Right now down 11-2 in the 6th inning. Maddux has done it all today. From a pitching performance to an offensive performance. And an 11-2 Cubs lead. The 2-2 in the dirt and a full count now. And nobody up in the Red Sox bullpen. John Halama, the long man, being asked to work some innings here today for the Red Sox in relief of Bronson. Arroyo gives them only 4 innings today. And left after he gave up 10 hits and 7 runs. In the air to left field. Ramirez heading back, looking up, and that's off the ivy. And he gets it back in quickly, and the throw on the cutoff is going to be in time. So it goes from Ramirez to Renteria to Bellhorn for the out, but the damage done in the inning. 4 runs in the inning, including a home run by Greg Maddux. It's 11-2 Cubs.
I'm Steve Schumann. Thank you for making Charlie's Maine's #1 Jeep dealer. Here at Charlie's, we have over 150 Jeeps available with great deals like these.
The 2005 Jeep Wrangler 4x4, only $16,795.
Or how about the 2005 Jeep Liberty Sport, just $17,995. The all-new redesigned Jeep Grand Cherokee, only $23,995.
Over the past 17 years, nobody sold more Jeeps than Charlie's. See us first, see us last, but see us and save.
Hi, this is Mike here at Pineview Homes. As you can see, we have expanded to both sides of Route 201 in Winslow. Millions of dollars in inventory means the largest selection of affordable, energy-efficient homes available in Central Maine. During our 50th anniversary, we will continue to save Maine families thousands and supply a great variety of choices, modulars, sectionals, single-wides, just the way it's always been. Since 1955, Pineview Homes, Route 201 in Winslow.
Wildfires.
Bounce down to your lottery agent and get your Maine Powerball ticket today. And remember, Power Play lets you multiply your non-jackpot winnings up to 5 times.
Maine Powerball.
Power play is powerful fun.
Talent and get your face on NESN. Now you can show and tell us why you're the greatest and most dedicated fan in Red Sox Nation. Send us a VHS, DVD, or mini DV of your performance. Song, dance, skits, and all types of entertainment are welcome, as long as it has a baseball-related theme to it. Have fun, be creative, and maybe you'll share your video with Red Sox Nation on the Boston Globe pregame report. Log on to NESN.com for entry rules and details.
The first of 3 games between the Red Sox and the Cubs, and today's game has been all Chicago so far.
Well, our crew gets a welcome break as they get to travel home tonight after the game, get a weekend off.
So one lined into left center field for Varitek, and then Hollingsworth over to play it on the backhand as Varitek will reach on first base. And Jason, one of the bright spots today for the Red Sox against Greg Maddux. Varitek with a couple of hits, 2 for 3. That was after a very good series against the Cardinals in which he was 6 for 10, so able to keep it going. There's Bill Miller, who doubled back in the third. He's lined to right, 1 for 2. On the ground to first base, Derek Lee picks it, throws to second for 1, on to first, not in time. They're able to beat it out on the backside. They do erase Jason Varitek at second base on the force out.
Lee upset with himself, thought maybe he could be a little bit quicker with this. He spins, he made a nice play. Just had Bill Miller hustling hard down the line and just couldn't complete the double play at the 3-6-3.
Out, 1 on, and here's Mark Bellhorn, who's 0 for 2. Bellhorn has grounded out to first base and struck out looking. Greg Maddux as Embry works in the Red Sox bullpen. Maddux last year becoming the 22nd pitcher in big league history to win his 300th game. And since 1991, he's won 247 games, ranking first among all active big league pitchers.
Kelly Shopik on deck to hit for the pitcher's spot, John Halama.
Pitch in there for a strike to Bellhorn. With a win today for Maddux, he would tie Charlie Radbourn for 18th on the list. Right field and sinking fast in for a hit for Mark Bellhorn. Hitting for third base is Bill Miller, and he'll get there on the single to right field for Bellhorn. Red Sox with 1 down have runners at the corners.
Well, maybe the home run and running the bases took a little out of Greg Maddux. Red Sox with 2 hits in this inning off him. Varitek and now Bellhorn. Catcher Barrett set up away, the ball out over the plate, and Bellhorn with the base hit.
And here's Kelly Shopik, pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot. With runners at the corners, 1 down. Shopik still looking for his first major league hit as he comes into this at bat in his pinch hit capacity. So far 0 for 9 in the major leagues. They called up by the Red Sox on May 27th from the Pawtucket Red Sox. It is major league debut on May 28th at New York. At 279 in 40 games with the Paw Sox, had 11 home runs. After the 1-1, grounds it foul outside of third base.
Right and left-handed action starting down in the bullpen for the Cubs. Wirtz, Ullman loosening up.
Maddox has thrown 84 pitches here today. Each of the last 2 outings he's thrown 89. Shopik after the 1-2 strikes out. That's the 5th strikeout on the afternoon for Greg Maddux, and there's 2 down.
Change up from Maddux to get Shopik. That the 9 spot has struck out 3 times today. Arroyo, Youkilis, and now Shopik.
Shopik looking for his first major league hit. Couldn't get it this time. David Ortiz got his first major league hit here at Wrigley Field. September 3rd of 1997. So 2 down in the inning. The runners at the corners back up to the top of the order for Johnny Damon. 0 for 2 with a walk. Ray Rothschild, the pitching coach here for the Cubs, making his way out to the mound. The manager of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Dick Pohl also on the staff for Dusty Baker.
There's Dick Pohl, the former Red Sox pitching coach. So 2 down. Greg Maddux has given up 2 hits in the inning. Bill Miller at third base. Mark Bellhorn at first with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. A reminder, we'll keep it right here at Wrigley Field for take me out to the ball game here in 7th inning stretch. As broken bat, grounder through the right side into right field, a base hit. Miller scores from third. The Red Sox 3rd run. It's an RBI single for Johnny Damon.
Well, a couple of broken bats for Damon this afternoon, but at least this one turns into a base hit. Change up to Damon again toward the end of the bat. That's why it breaks, but the base hit, and Damon picks up the RBI. Dusty Baker on his way out, and that's going to be the afternoon for Greg Maddux.
Well, we should get an enormous hand from this Wrigley Field capacity crowd.
Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Albert's Furniture Showplace. Just what you're looking for in a furniture store.
What's tough? Ford F-150. This frame has something the competition doesn't have. F-150's fully boxed frame is stronger than Dodge or Chevy. It's the backbone of the truck, which gives more rigidity and strength. So go ahead, put Ford to work. I have for 11 years.
Right now, get up to $5,245 total savings or 0% financing for 60 months on Ford F-150. Includes a premium gift package worth $500 from the Home Depot at no extra charge.
Find out the truth about trucks at your New England Ford dealer.
Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Bristol Toyota, Champion Mortgage, Fireside Nissan, Marty's USRV, Bolero, First Acura, Geico, Nissan of East Providence, Scott Volkswagen, Extramart, and Hyundai.
Fans, make your Red Sox Nation citizenship official by signing up at RedSox.com. Citizenship now includes the ability to see the weekly Red Sox Report TV show on the web no matter where you are in the world. A new episode premieres every Sunday night at 11, so you can now stay up to date with all that's going on at Fenway and in the community. Become a citizen of Red Sox Nation at RedSox.com and have a worldwide access to the Red Sox Report.
Michael Wirtz is the new Chicago Cubs pitcher.
Mainly a starting pitcher in his minor league career, a bullpen pitcher in the big leagues, 31 strikeouts in 28 1/3 innings. This is appearance number 31.
Edgar Renteria 1 for 3 today with an RBI, an infield hit. Back in the third inning, scored Bill Miller with the Red Sox first run. Red Sox have a run here in the top half of the seventh inning. With runners at first and second, Bellhorn at second, Damon at first. 11-3 Chicago lead. Greg Maddux responsible for the 2 men on. As Maddux leaves after 6 2/3 innings, allowing 7 hits. So far 3 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 5. Swing and a miss for Renteria. And the count evens up now at 2-2. The RBIs today, Damon, Renteria, and David Ortiz. Ortiz, of course, with a home run in the 6th inning, a solo shot. Red Sox with 1 home run. The Cubs with 4 home runs today, including 2 by Jeremy Burnitz. A solo shot for Greg Maddux. And the home run for Hollinsworth as Renteria pops it up into short right center field. Oncoming is Burnitz. He'll make the catch. That ends the inning. The Red Sox able to get a run in the inning, and it's 11-3. We'll keep it right here at Wrigley Field. For 7th inning stretch and take me out to the ball game. Jack O'Callahan, as well as Chris Chelios, doing the honors.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let's root for the Red Sox. They know when it's a shame, or it's one. It's like at the old ball game. Hey, Chicago, all right.
Well, an 11-3 lead here for the Cubs, and today has been a very frustrating day, Jerry, for the Red Sox. The Cubs have brought their bats, and a lot of home run balls here today for Chicago.
Well, you know, you come to this park on a day like this, warm, humid, wind blowing up, and you figure you're going to see a lot of scoring, but it's been all one-sided scoring this afternoon by the Cubs. I mean, home runs flying all over the place. Burnitz with a couple, Maddux with 1, Hollinsworth with a 2-run home run. Red Sox have just not been able to shut down this offense for the Cubs this afternoon.
Well, the Red Sox today having gone through a couple of pitchers already, as the starter today, Bronson Arroyo, did not have it. Another tough outing today for Bronson, as it turns out, and he's touched for 7 runs and 10 hits.
Well, he continues to have problems, certainly against left-handed hitters. They have done a lot of damage. They did it today off him, and we mentioned at the start, Bronson hasn't had a win since early in May. Now, he's pitched some good games in there. Not the case here this afternoon.
So the Red Sox, as it turns out, will have their 3rd pitcher of the day. Also a defensive change. Ramon Vasquez has come into the game at shortstop for the Red Sox, giving Renteria the rest of the day off. It's part of a switch here that involves Kelly Shopik staying in the game and doing the catching. And the Red Sox use their 3rd pitcher, Alan Embry.
For Embry, appearance number 28 on the season. His last coming Tuesday in St. Louis, hitting 3rd in that game, allowing 1 hit and no runs. So I would imagine the pitcher spot now would go where Renteria is. And Vasquez would move into that 6th hole where Veritek was stationed.
Todd Walker fouls one off to the left, backing out of play. Walker today 1 for 3. A single in the 3rd inning. And he hits one out towards left center field. Ramirez on the run. It is back and off the ivy again. And he plays the carom quickly, and a good throw into second base, but Walker in with a head first slide. And a double to begin things here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Now Todd Walker picking up his second hit, a single back in the third inning. Now he also goes off the wall, off the Ivory, on a fastball down and away from Alan Embry. And he quickly back into the infield, but Walker with the head first slide in the leadoff double.
And Manny earlier had his league-leading 7th assist from the outfield. But not this time. Relatively close play, but a double for Todd Walker in head first. There's Todd Hollinsworth, who homered in the second inning, 1 for 3 today. In the right center field, a base hit. Todd Walker being waved around. He represents the 12th Chicago Cubs run of the day. Hollinsworth with his second hit, 3rd RBI, and Chicago leads it 12-3.
Well, you need that to put out the fire that's going on in the mound here this afternoon. I mean, nobody's been able to put out the fire.
Embry is only added to the fire. Back-to-back doubles for the Cubs. Michael Barrett is 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. The Cubs catcher. Down and in, Shopping with a good play to his left. Pinch hitter Jason DuBois has come out on deck for the Cubs to bat in the pitcher's spot. It'll be the spot of Michael Wirtz. Barrett hits one hard to left center field. It's deep, far, and that's into the ivy. And stuck out there. Damon throws the arms up, so it'll be a double, and Hollinsworth will get the plate. So the 13th run for the Cubs, and they lead it 13-3. There you go, Jerry. The ground rule you talked about earlier taking effect with Damon throwing the arms up.
At first it looked like maybe it went in that basket, but no, it gets caught in the ivy. Does not pop up. Damon puts his arms up, and it's the 2-base hit.
It's going to take you a while to get used to that aspect of the game.
I've never seen, I mean, I give up.
That's it. Double.
That's it. 2 bases.
A double. Well, it's 3 doubles in a row for the Cubs here in the 7th inning off Alan Embry. And here is DuBois batting for Jason Wirtz. Jason DuBois, an outfielder. Barrett at second base, nobody out. And he swings at the first pitch, 93 miles per hour that time from Embry. Numbers for DuBois, 266, 5 homers, and 20 runs batted in. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Russ Ken just informed me that Kevin Millar's first major league home run was here at Wrigley Field, a ball that got lost in the ivy, and Sosa couldn't find it. Why didn't he just put his arms up?
Because he wasn't aware of the ground rule at the time.
Maybe they've changed since then.
Swing and a miss. They climb the ladder on DuBois, and he strikes out for the first out of the inning. Check in with Dan Roach. Dan?
All right, so thank you very much, Don. We're joined right now for a few minutes by the Executive Director of Sales for Viacom Boston. It's Al Turner. Now, you're our Citizens Bank, not your typical fan, and it's not your typical game, but you're with a group of many of our good clients out here in Chicago. What's it been like in the Windy City so far?
Well, this game is it's unfortunate that we're having as much trouble as we are here, but we're having a great time. We have about 40 of our clients really out here now that have really been great sponsors for the station and great sponsors for the Red Sox. So we're kind of celebrating last year's championship by getting a lot of guys out here for the weekend, and we're enjoying the Red Sox Cubs event because this is an event.
Besides Citizens Bank, who are some of the clients that are out here with you? What companies?
Well, Southwest Airlines, the Dodge and Jeep dealers, Chevy dealers, Toyota. We have them all. So we're really fortunate to have the Red Sox, as you know, and it's great to celebrate what we did last year. It's too bad we're not doing that well right now, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Go warm up. Go in.
Well, last year you took them out to San Francisco, and they played Pebble Beach. What are you guys doing this year? Anything golf-wise?
Actually, we're going to go to Wisconsin, to Kohler, Wisconsin. The Fawcett people, I guess, and we're going to go there for a couple of days and enjoy a couple of rounds of golf and have some massages for the women, and it's a great time. It's a great weekend.
Al, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Rogie.
All right, there you go. That's Whistling Straits, a beautiful golf course out in Wisconsin as well. Don and Jerry, back to you.
All right, Dan, thanks very much.
Sounds like a fun weekend they have playing.
What if we can go along somehow?
I got to go home. I have to leave tomorrow.
You have to be out of the country?
I'm leaving tomorrow. I'd be leaving tonight, but I couldn't get a flight. Everything's booked.
Mayfi Perez has singled to right field. Michael Barrett on to third. 10 extra base hits for the Cubs today. Standing in is Corey Patterson, as Dave Wallace was out there to talk to Alan Embry. Red Sox need Embry here to get through the inning. Nobody warming in the Boston bullpen. Well, the Cubs on top 13-3. Patterson drills one off the base runner at first base for the out. So hit at first base is Perez. Couldn't get out of the way.
That'll be a base hit, I believe, for the hitter, right? Where's he going?
He's coming back to the plate.
No, he's got to go back to first base.
He's got to go back to the bag at first. The hit for him and out.
It's a base hit. The base runner's out, and the runner goes back to third.
Well, Jerry Lane messed that up.
Yeah, he told me, he says, you know, yeah, Jerry.
It's all you.
Get on the rules a little bit. I mean, it doesn't become a double play.
That'd be something, wouldn't it? Everybody's out once it is a base runner.
Jeez.
So Patterson gets credit for a hit. Perez out. And there's two down in the inning. Barrett at third base. Patterson at first. Patterson with the hit, his second hit of the day. The Cubs now have 20 hits. Everybody's got at least one. There's Derek Lee. Toughest out in the Cubs order. And is 2 for 4 in the afternoon. He's got a single and a double. This one gets away from Shopik to the backstop. From third comes Michael Barrett. And the Cubs lead it 14-3.
Well, I'm trying to think back, Don, on this season. Is this the ugliest game of the year for the Red Sox?
I think it's got to be. If not,
I can't think of one uglier.
know what's been worse. A wild pitch charge this time to Embry.
Honestly, I thought that probably should have been a pass ball.
I thought so too. Right through the wickets it looked like. Well, the 20 hits, the most since the Red Sox had allowed 20 hits to the Baltimore Orioles.
I mean, it took a line drive hitting a base runner to get an out in this inning.
Two and one. The count to Derek Lee with Patterson at second base. Last time the Red Sox gave up 14 runs was back in May against the Seattle Mariners. It's the second time the Red Sox this season have given up 14 runs. It is a season high. Look at the feeling the Cubs are done as this one is in the dirt, ball 4, and Derek Lee walks down to first base. So since Embry has come on, he has allowed 5 hits, a walk, and 3 runs. To deal with Jeremy Burnitz, who's 3 for 4, has 2 home runs today. And it says 2 career 3 home run games. A power hitting outfielder. Last time he had a 3 home run game, September 25th of 2001. That was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss. Embry ahead of him, 0-2. Burnett's the 8th man to bat in the inning. Just 1 for 14 against Embry, but the one is a home run. Patterson at second base, Lee at first, 2 down. Here in the last half of the 7th inning. Arroyo in 4 innings allowed 7 runs today. John Halama in 2 innings allowed 4 runs. And so far Alan Embry has been charged with 3 runs. Ball 2 strikes to Jeremy Burnett. Inside and he's ducking back out of the way.
Crowd doesn't like it, but that was a breaking ball from Alan Embry that didn't break. Tries to snap off a curveball and just gets a lot of spin out of it.
Missing away, 93 miles per hour for Embry, and it's a full count now. Pinch hitter waiting on deck. That is Jose Macias, who's come out on deck for Ramos Ramirez. Patterson at second, Lee at first, 2 down. The payoff pitch. The runners will be off. They are. And it's grounded toward shortstop. Vasquez rounding behind it, throwing on the run and in time to end the inning. But up with 3 more are the Cubs at the end of 7. Chicago on top 14-3.
From the fastest and strongest to the most capable and most powerful, Dodge Ram trucks. Matched by none, envied by all. Come on, man, floor it!
At a department store, you can get an elegant 100% wool suit for $299.99. K&G has 100% wool suits that look just as stylish for a third of that. Really. K&G has incredible savings on a wide range of fashions 7 days a week. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for less.
Why tear up your bathroom to get a beautiful bath when all you have to do is call Rebath? Rebath installs acrylic bathtubs and wall surrounds over your old bathtub and walls in just 1 day. No tear out, no mess, no inconvenience. Rebath's 1-day stress-free patented installation is covered by a lifetime manufacturer's warranty and has made Rebath the country's largest bath remodeler. Just call 1-800-BATHTUB today for your free in-home estimate. Rebath, the refreshing remodel.
Red Sox fans, it's Chevy Cobalt payoff pitch. If the Red Sox hit a home run on their 100th pitch of the game today, Robert Hyder of Lawrence, Massachusetts could win a new Chevy Cobalt. Go to NewEnglandChevyDealers.com to find a dealer near you and visit the Chevy dealership for your chance to enter. Jose Macias takes over third base for Ramos Ramirez. The new second baseman is Jerry Hairston in for Todd Walker. Enrique Wilson, a former Yankee, at first base, takes over for Derek Lee, and the new pitcher on the Third of the day for the Cubs is Will Ullman.
21st appearance, 10 strikeouts in 12 innings for Ullman, a record of 2-0 out of the bullpen. With the Cubs back in 2000 and 2001, 17 career games. Recall from AAA Iowa on April the 26th.
T skies one down the third base line. Macias in the short left. Just into the game, makes the catch for the first out here in the top half of the 8th. Greg Maddux, the pitcher of record today for the Cubs, went 6 2/3, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs. He walked 1, struck out 5. Michael Wirtz went a third of an inning as he got the final out of the 7th. And now Will Ullman out there for the 8th has the first out. Here's Manny Ramirez.
Jay Payton comes out on deck to hit for Trot Nixon with the lefty in the ball game. So the Red Sox will be down to 2 extra guys, John Olerud and Kevin Millar, once Payton hits.
Will Ullman was born in Frankfurt, West Germany. Resides in Agoura Hills, California. His 3rd season with the Cubs. Pitch away. And of course, injuries bothering the Cubs. Chris Pryor, who saw that nasty injury right back on his wrist, and Kerry Wood next to him. As Ramirez walks, he'll head down to first base with 1 down.
Well, Jay Payton may be the guy to hit the home run on the 100th pitch of the game. 98 so far in this one against the Red Sox for the Cobalt.
Nixon today had been 0 for 3 as Payton bats for him here in the 8th. Jay Payton, of course, playing here many times, spending his career in the National League prior to this season. He's out after the first pitch, lifts it out to left center field. Corey Patterson makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Well, actually, to be Kevin Millar that gets the shot at it as he comes up the hit in what must be the pitcher's spot.
And so that means that Vasquez is in the number 2 spot.
Vasquez should be number 2. This should be the pitcher's spot, and of course, Shopik stays in the 9 spot.
Millar getting an at bat here with 2 outs in the 8th. They do not hold Ramirez on at first base. And his good friend Enrique Wilson plays in behind him.
From the Ritz-Carlton.
That's right.
Boy, that caused a hubbub, didn't it?
Man, he couldn't play, but he could go out with Enrique Wilson. Or at least see him in the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton. Turned out.
And that was the 100 pitch, right?
That was a 100 pitch, and he didn't homer, unfortunately.
Again. See you later.
Now Millar hits one down the left field line towards the pole, but a foul ball.
I mean, you don't even get a swing on the 100th pitch.
That's how it goes.
Tough competition. They just don't give those cobalts away.
No. A 1-1 to Millar. Outside and low, 2-1.
I bet you Millar didn't know it was the 100th pitch. If he probably would have swung knowing that he could have won somebody a cold ball or a chance to win a cold ball, but he took. Wasn't aware. Somebody should have made him aware down there. There's a 100 pitch.
Well, he was on deck. We should have sent somebody over. Let him know there was a chance. Up and away, 3-1. And by my count, we've not had anybody yet have a chance to win the
No, not
ball.
yet. No. I think that's the first take we've had on a 100 pitch.
Yes, usually they at least swing, even without the prior knowledge. Millar swings at the 3-1, lines it to left, and it'll fall in front of Hollingsworth, who has to reach back to grab it. And Millar with a pinch hit single. Manny up to second base. 2 on, 2 down.
Terry Francona was saying that Millar may get a start in the 3rd game of this series. They have a lefty working in that game. I believe it's Glendon Rush scheduled to pitch the final game of this series, and they may give Millar the start at first base and Ortiz the day off.
Well, Glendon Rush will get the start against Tim Wakefield in the final game of the series tomorrow. It's Wade Miller going for the Red Sox, 2-1 against Carlos Zambrano, right-handed for the Cubs, who's 4-3. Well, Miller grounding this one foul just outside of third base.
That's unusual, isn't it? Where they don't give the fan a baseball.
Don't see that too often.
Yeah, usually those people down the lines just flip it into the stands.
On the hands and grounded towards third base. Macias on the run. The long throw is in time to get Bill Miller. Nice play. Well, the Red Sox strand 2 as we head for the last of the 8th inning, as the Cubs enjoy the 14-3 lead.
Calling the Mach 5. Come in, Speed. Trixie calling the Mach 5.
I'm in the middle of a race, Trixie. Don't talk to me now.
Speed, listen to me. The bridge is out ahead. You're in extreme danger.
The bridge is out?
Don't worry, Speed. I have good news.
Tell me, Trixie.
I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hi, I'm Roanne from Off Track Bedding, celebrating our 25th anniversary. Mattresses looked a lot different 25 years ago. Then along came waterbeds, latex and visco mattresses, plus bigger and better Serta mattresses. So many choices today. At Off Track Bedding, we help you choose the mattress that's right for you. And we've been doing it for 25 years at the area's lowest prices. Shop Off Track Bedding's 15 locations and find out why Serta makes the world's best mattress. Off Track Bedding, for over 25 years, the lowest prices every night.
What's your ideal car? 350Z Maxima. How about your ideal car dealer? Fireside Nissan, Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts' fastest growing Nissan dealership. For over 40 years, we've been family owned and operated and growing. Visit our newly expanded lot. Up to 5 acres of cars to choose from. Fireside Nissan, the largest service and parts dealer in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. Come see why, after 40 years, there's no better deal than a Fireside deal. Fireside Nissan, Route 1 North Attleboro.
Do you have a personal story about the Red Sox that you'd love to tell? A tale that would touch the hearts of every member of Red Sox Nation? Well, here's your chance to be heard. Nessing's going into production with its newest original series, Stories from Red Sox Nation, a show for the fans, by the fans. Go to Nesson.com, click on the Stories from Red Sox Nation link, and submit your story with a chance to take part in Nesson's next original series. Thank you, Dan. Save us.
Well, some defensive changes for the Red Sox as Jay Payton stays in the game in right field after hitting for Trot Nixon. And the new pitcher for the Red Sox is Mike Timlin.
Timlin's been off a while. His last outing Sunday against the Angels, an inning in that game, allowed a hit, did have a strikeout overall for Timlin. His 28th of the season. Opponents hitting .260 off Mike.
Timlin replacing Alan Embry, who went an inning giving up 5 hits and 3 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 1. A 14-3 lead for the Chicago Cubs as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jose Macias will lead it off for Chicago, his first at bat. As he took over defensively at third base for Aramis Ramirez. To the backstop.
One don't know if we have a tally. I'm sure we don't, but how many of these Cubs today have swung at the first pitch in this game? It's been amazing.
Unbelievable.
And I can see why they don't walk very much or strike out very much. They're not up there that long.
8 of 9 starting Cubs, and the only one that's excluded is Greg Maddux because he had 1 hit. It was the home run, but everybody else got at least 2. This one is fouled off down the left field line. The Cubs with 20 hits. And not a lot to cheer about if you're a Red Sox fan here today at Wrigley Field.
If they could call a talk show right now, they would.
Timlin strikes out Macias to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the 7th strikeout for Red Sox pitching today. There's Jerry Hairston, who was part of the Sammy Sosa deal. Hairston coming to the Cubs. Sosa, of course, going to the Baltimore Orioles. Career with the Baltimore Orioles, 1998 through 2004, 261, 26 homers and 160 RBIs. A lot of problems staying healthy over the last few years and really losing his job to Brian Roberts. To right center field, Damon moves over and takes care of out number 2. Well, the Red Sox pitchers trying to get their third 1-2-3 inning of the game. Bronson Arroyo had one in the 1st inning, and John Halama had one in the 5th. Todd Hollandsworth, and he was 2 for 4 today with a home run and 3 runs batted in. With a 2-run shot back in the 2nd inning, his 2nd home run of the season. Pitch. Opposite field down the left field line. Ramirez heading over towards the line and by the bullpen mound to make the catch that ends the inning. So Timlin with a 1-2-3-8. We head for the 9th. 14-3. The Cubs on top.
The wonder of it all. Grab your friends, bring your clover. Lots more fun, so come on over. Try your luck, there's more games to explore. More to rock, more to roll, more ways to find your pot of gold. Hey, you don't have to be real tall to see the wonder of it all.
Foxwoods, the wonder of it all.
LaPola Jeep, Rhode Island's Jeep Authority, where you can lease a brand new 05 Grand Cherokee for only $279 a month with heated leather seats, sunroof, and more. LaPola Jeep also has the award-winning 05 Liberty for only $239 a month, or drive the rugged 05 Wrangler for just $269 a month. LaPola Jeep, rated #1 in customer satisfaction in sales and service. LaPola Jeep is conveniently located at 1591 Cranston Street, Cranston, just minutes from Route 10. Visit LaPola Jeep, where every day is the last day of the month.
So the bunt single for Edgar gets the tying run into scoring position. 4-3 Baltimore on top. 2 down in the last half of the 9th. Big Poppy at the plate. Ortiz hits it in the air to center field. Newman back, looking up. It's gone! Ortiz and the Red Sox walk off with the win.
Tune in NESN Sports Desk, New England's first word on sports, night and day. Scores, highlights, interviews, and analysis, evenings at 10 and mornings from 5 to 9.
Donald Orsillo and Jerry Remy along with Dan Roach back in Chicago at Wrigley Field. 14-3. The Cubs on top as we head to the top of the ninth. And the new pitcher on for the Cubs is Cliff Bartosh.
He came over from Cleveland back on March 29th for Ronald Bay. He's worked in 15 games for the Cubs and has an 0-2 record, only 14 2/3 innings total.
Mark Bellhorn leading it off for the Red Sox in the ninth. Red Sox and Cubs playing their first regular season game. First time the Cubs have played the Red Sox. Red Sox, the 15th AL club that they have played now. Is this one in the air to deep left? Hollingsworth back front of the wall, and it is gone. Mark Bellhorn with his third home run of the season opens up the top of the ninth.
Well, Bellhorn now one of two Red Sox with multiple hit games. Jason Varitek being the other, who's out of the game now. Now Bellhorn picks up his third home run of the season and his first from the right side of the plate.
And as customary, that fan after jumping around for a while threw the ball back onto the field. Throwing back, Mark Bellhorn's home run as Shopik fouls it off at the plate.
Well, maybe something good can come of this game. Maybe Shopik can get his first major league hit.
Shopik's his strikeout victim his first time up. Down and in and to the backstop. Well, Shopik, 25 years of age. Red Sox first selection in the 2001 draft, 48th pick overall out of Baylor University. In 2001 he was named the nation's top collegiate catcher. A 2-1 pitch in there for a strike, and the count now 2-2. Shopik with a swing and a miss, and he strikes out for the first out here in the ninth. Still in search of that elusive first major league hit. So one down, base is empty. John Olerud is going to bat. Batting in Johnny Damon's spot here with one out in the ninth. And the strike to Olerud. Well, certainly Olerud and Millar's playing time has been reduced with the interleague schedule coming to National League cities and David Ortiz getting the regular start at first base. You want to see his bat come out of the lineup. So Ortiz starting the games in St. Louis and the first game of this three-game series against the Cubs. Olerud pops it up foul off third base. That'll get back into the seats. Ortiz today hitting his 15th home run of the season back in the 6th inning. One of the bright spots today for the Red Sox. They trail 14-4 as they bat here on the top of the ninth with one down. The Red Sox have a lot of National League players on their team, and only 4 players on the Red Sox 25-man roster have never played at Wrigley Field before coming into today's action. Trot Nixon, Jason Varitek, Kevin Youkilis, and Kelly Shopik.
And the gold bow tie says,
You pay what we pay.
For the first time in history at Quirk Chevrolet, everyone gets the General Motors employee discount, plus huge GM rebates. It's just like you worked at Quirk Chevrolet with GM employee discounts on Impala, Malibu, Aveo, Cobalt, Avalanche, Colorado, Silverado, SSR, Trailblazer, Suburban, Tahoe, Equinox. Nothing's held back. Get your GM employee discount today at Quirk Chevrolet, Hogan Road, Bangor.
Now that's getting it done.
Over the last few years, we've been busy improving how you use your TV and the internet. Recently, we reached an agreement with Time Warner and Comcast that will make the future for all our customers even better still. This transaction could take up to a year to complete. In the meantime, we want to assure you that we remain committed to continued product innovation and to providing excellent value and outstanding customer service. At Adelphia, we're looking forward, and we're excited about tomorrow.
And a miss for Vasquez, and the count evens up at 1-1. Vasquez seeing very limited time off the Red Sox bench as he pops it up into shallow right center field. Out is the second baseman Hairston, and he makes the catch for out number 2. And there's 2 down in the 9th inning. To bring them to their feet at Wrigley Field. First ever visit for the Red Sox here to Wrigley Field. It's not gone well, with the Cubs on top 14-4 with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Ortiz today 1 for 4, the home run back in the 6th inning. And he hit that off Greg Maddux. Maddux allowing 3 runs over 6 2/3 in line to get his 5th win as Ortiz takes the strike. The shift on for Ortiz. Olerud at first base with 2 outs in the 9th. Ortiz sends it foul off to the left, and it's now 2-2. Cubs getting 3 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th inning. Banging out 20 hits today. Now the 2-2. Ortiz hits it high and deep to right. A monster shot to right field and on to Sheffield Avenue. A 2-run home run for David Ortiz, his 2nd home run of the day, his 16th of the year. And the Red Sox now trail 14-6. 3rd multi-home run game of the season for David Ortiz.
Well, David Ortiz has certainly taken a quick liking to Wrigley Field, his 2nd of the day. Ball stays in, and no question about that one. As soon as it left the bat, over everything out into the street.
So 2 down in the 9th, and here comes Manny Ramirez. 0 for 3 with a walk. Manny on the trip now 1 for 8 as he grounds it foul above the Cubs dugout. '14th career multi-home run game for David Ortiz. 3rd of this season. The 1-1 to Manny. Popped up into shallow right field. Burnitz was deep, but he's coming in now, and the Cubs take the first game of this 3-game series in impressive fashion as they win today 14-6. Red Sox gathering 3 runs in the 9th, but not nearly enough. Back with more from Chicago after this.
Own a 2005 Camry for $179 a month at Bristol Toyota. This is not a lease, you own it. Drive home a 2005 Toyota Camry for $179 a month now at Bristol Toyota. $179 a month this week at Bristol Toyota.
For the largest selection of gas and diesel motorhomes in New England, it's USRV.
On sale at USRV, $399 fixed on select American Coach, Beaver, Fleetwood, Travel Supreme, and more. New Beaver Marquee, $120,000 off, plus $399 fixed. 40-foot Beaver Thunder, $399 fixed, only $967 a month. New Bounder, 36, $399 fixed, only $484 a month.
Quantity, quality, and price. It's USRV. My name is Marty, and we make better deals.
When you're on the go, you need the convenience, quality, and pricing that you'll always find at Extra Mart. Convenience. Everything you need is priced right and ready to go. Quality. Extra Mart has their own Extra Cafe Gourmet Coffee, delicious Deli Joe sandwiches, and Extra Fuels gasoline. Great prices. Extra Mart features everyday low prices and value specials. Through Labor Day, Coca-Cola 12-packs are specially priced at 2 for $5. Coca-Cola, make it real. In every corner of New England, Extra Mart is just around your corner.
Own a 2005 Corolla for $139 a month at Bristol Toyota. This is not a lease, you own it. Drive home a 2005 Toyota Corolla for only $139 a month now at Bristol Toyota. $139 a month this week at Bristol Toyota.
Ding! You are now free to dip your toes in the ocean.
Ding!
Ding! You are now free to see an old friend.
To forget what traffic sounds like.
Free to find your favorite state flower. Ding! Ding!
That ding is just cracking me up. You are now free to get a low fare, even at the last minute.
Ding!
Ding!
You are now free to follow your favorite team.
Ding!
Ding!
You are now free to enjoy low fares coast to coast.
With frequent nonstops to 60 cities.
You are now free to move about the country.
WB Mason's Extra Innings is brought to you in part by WB Mason, the official office supply store of the Boston Red Sox.
Greg Maddux takes care of business. Career win number 310. The offense more than carrying the day here as the wind was blowing out and the Cubs took advantage. 14-6. Chicago beats up on the Red Sox. Hello and welcome, everyone. WB Mason's Extra Innings. Tom Caron along with Gary DeSarcina. I've had enough of this interleague play thing.
That's not going
just get back to the American League?
You give Greg Maddux 7 runs in 3 innings, and he's going to hold it. We talked about it at the pregame. This guy just is a crafty pitcher. Bronson came out, made some mistakes early, and he paid the price.
Yeah, second inning, it all got away from him, and this was really the beginning of a long day for Red Sox pitchers. But Jeremy Burnett's one of 2 home runs here, and with Arroyo, it's location, as it is with so many pitchers.
That's a little fastball, like a get-me-over fastball. He tried to sink it a little bit, ran right over the heart of the plate, and Jeremy just pounded it. That ball's covered for a home run. That ball's out of any park, not just Wrigley. Even though the wind was blowing out, he crushed it. Bronson did not get away with his mistakes today.
And then Todd Hollandsworth with a 2-run homer, 1 out later.
That's a fastball right down Broadway, and a big league hitter's gonna crush it. I mean, a left-handed power hitter like he is, he's not gonna miss that. That's a mistake. Fastball up just a little bit, but right down the middle. You can see Jason reaching for it. He's set up inside, and he's reaching for it to go, and it runs out over the middle of the plate, and it's hammered.
Career win number 310 for Greg Maddux, who pitched well, and he now is tied for 18th on the all-time Major League list. The ugliness in the second inning was contained to the 3 runs. At that point, it looked like it might shape up to be okay for Arroyo, but the wheels fell off in the third inning, starting with a couple of ugly plays after Derek Lee and Burnitz got on base. A throw will actually come in behind Aramis Ramirez. Varitek, he had a play. It was a tight play, but turning, throwing it, and it curved off into the left field there. A run scores.
That's a bang decision. We've seen Bronson do this before, where he's throwing a breaking ball behind a right-handed hitter. It doesn't happen a lot. That's a tough pitch just to get your glove on for Jason, but he comes up and instinctively he turns and fires. A lot of times you'll see a shortstop make a play up the middle, turn and fire to first base and make a play like that. But it came off infield in right there, ground ball through. You could see the high grass there. Knocks it down, barely gets out to left field, but he did not pitch well. He made mistakes, and when you make mistakes against a good team like the Cubs, you're going to pay the price. And a little error like that opens the door, and you have Greg Maddux sitting on the mound for the other team. He's not going to give up a lot of runs.
And it is a good team. I mean, a record virtually identical to the Red Sox, 32 wins apiece, a half-game difference between them as the Red Sox have the extra loss. And they've done it without two of the best players in the game, Pryor and Wood, both on the bench, Nomar on the bench. I mean, it'll be remarkable if the Cubs make the playoffs. It's a credit to the depth they have.
And they have some guys that are playing above their potential. They have Nefi Perez right off the bat. He's not that good of a player. He's a good player, but he's having a career year. Derek Lee, the same. Burnett's the same. These guys are picking up their game. They know Nomar's down. They know their two big pitchers are down, and they're just having good offensive years. Derek Lee's having a great offensive year. So, we said at the very beginning, you don't want him to beat you, but when you have all these other guys contributing like they are, and Bronson making mistakes, you're out of the game real quickly by the fourth, fifth inning.
6 weeks now, pretty much, since Bronson Arroyo won a game. May 5th, the last time Arroyo was victorious. He had that 4-0 start. Has not won since as he falls to 4-3. Nomar saying hello, renewing acquaintances before the game. Of course, a long ways away from playing. But his new team, the Cubs, way on top of this one, beating his old team 14-6.
The Nissan Pathfinder has led the way for nearly 2 decades, and the lead just got bigger. Introducing the new 7-passenger 2005 Nissan Pathfinder with more horsepower and seating for 7. See your Nissan dealer now and lease a new 2005 Pathfinder for just $339 a month. The Nissan Pathfinder. Everything you expect from Nissan and more. Yep, a third row.
Refreshing blueberry-flavored iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. It's exhilaration in a cup. Dunkin' Donuts. Bring yourself back.
From the files of W.B. Mason.
When I learned my therapist was overspending on office supplies, I had no choice but to call in backup.
And who are you, precisely?
I'm a low-price assurance detective.
He's my partner, Doc.
We're here to save you money.
Doesn't give you a license to throw away money. And when did you first experience this compulsion to save other people's money?
This is no longer about me, Doc. You've been cited for reckless purchasing of office supplies. Can we see your receipts, please?
Well, I never, ever...
It's worse than I thought. Read him his rights.
You have a right to save money on office supplies. You have a right to free next-day delivery and cheerful service. You have a right to receive complete orders. Stop, please. Stop. I beg you. I've heard more than enough.
Another case closed. Another business saved from overspending on office supplies.
Toodaloo. See you next week, boys.
Who but W.B. Mason?
New refreshing coconut-flavored iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. It's exhilaration in a cup. Dunkin' Donuts. Bring yourself back.
Time for our Superstar of the Game, brought to you by Subaru of New England. Think, feel, drive. Greg Maddux still chugging along. Pitched into the 7th as he gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, only 86 pitches. I think Bronson Arroyo was at that in the 2nd inning. It's a slight exaggeration, but we talk about location, but this guy's still got great movement on his stuff.
He gets movement. He uses finger pressure for his movement, and he has a great release point with it. Everything's the same coming out of it. He didn't throw a complete game, but he just works along. He just keeps going and going and going. He's like, there you go. There's a mistake, a little cutter in, but it's a line drive right at somebody. And when you're going good and you're pitching a good game, the mistakes aren't capitalized. Same, Manny crushes that ball. That ball's right over the middle of the plate, and he hit it pretty good. But Greg is a prototypical crafty guy out there. He uses finger pressure to make the ball go either way, and he keeps hitters off balance. And we talked about how he reads hitters off the bat. When he finishes his windup, he's in great position to see the hitter and feel his position, and he does so many things so well.
310 wins. Only Roger Clemens has more among career pitchers, active career pitcher numbers. And like Roger Clemens, he's not afraid to get up at the plate and help himself out a little bit. And I know we watch these and say National League Baseball, it's not as fun. But I like this. I like the strategy involved with the pitcher and the batter as a batter in the lineup. And I like the fact that a pitcher, like Maddux, will help himself out by doing what needs to be done.
One of the hardest things to do in baseball is bunt. bunt when everybody knows you're going to bunt? It's very hard. The pitcher's going to, he has perfect form there. His barrel stays up. The pitcher's going to try to throw, a high strike. Here he is helping himself as a fielder. 14 Gold Gloves. The guy's a baseball player, not just a pitcher, and he does it all. We saw him later in the game. He hit the home run. He helps himself in so many different ways, and this is the icing on the cake for him right there. He's a baseball player. He's a pitcher. That's his job and his title. But he goes out there. You ever see him on the bases? He runs the bases. He's aware. I can't say enough good things about him because he's just so unassuming. He's the type of guy, and maybe it's because he played so many years with the Braves, and all those guys had that good stuff going on over there with Glavine and Smoltz and Avery. All those guys had competition amongst themselves, and it brings out the best of them, and he's brought it over to the Cubs.
I saw here Momota, the last pitcher to hit a home run off the Red Sox, pitching from Montreal. So Greg Maddux gets the job done today, and you got to worry a little bit here about Bronson Arroyo.
Bronson, he hasn't been the same, in my opinion, since he's been suspended. He did have that one good game against the Angels.
Saturday.
But other than that, he hasn't been himself. He's throwing 2-1 breaking balls that aren't as sharp as they were before he got hurt, before he went on the took his little vacation there. Suspension. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's just not as sharp. It doesn't look like, I don't know if it's his confidence. I do believe that baseball players are creatures of habits, and we all do the same thing. We get in routines. We like to do the same thing. And he was out of whack. And I don't know if it's a matter of him just losing feel for his pitches or losing his confidence because he came back in Toronto. He lost. He got beat up against Baltimore. Comes out of the pen. His whole routine's been messed up.
Well, today was certainly the worst outing he's had, and perhaps the worst outing Red Sox pitchers have had this year. The second time they've given up 20 hits in a game, and it's already the 14th time this season that they've lost a game by 5 runs or more. That only happened 20 times all of 2004. As we hit a break, our W.B. Mason delivered the game. Not a game you talk a lot of defense because it was such an offensive explosion for the Cubs. But a little defense here. Todd Hollinsworth in the 4th inning. Trot Nixon with the ball going in towards the gap, dropping in, but a great diving catch by Hollinsworth. It's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Introducing a conventional oil that totally defies convention. New Mobile Clean 5000, the first oil enhanced with a high-endurance formula, the only one guaranteed to protect for 5,000 miles. Mobile Clean 5000, the oil that's changing oil.
Nectars, official juice of the Red Sox.
If you're getting married, we'll rent you a tuxedo for as little as $50, which is pretty good, considering her dress probably costs as much as your car.
Rent 4 tuxedos, and the groom's is free.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
What are you doing?
If you love to win, play Cash Windfall, the jackpot game where 1 out of 6 tickets wins from the Mass State Lottery.
The Boston Globe Sports Plus on NESN.
Hey, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of world.
Tune in each week for sports news and interviews.
The Red Sox are in Mariano Rivera's head, yes or no?
Plus, entertaining debate, insight, and commentary you'll get only from the Boston Globe sports team.
Yesterday's hero is today's bum.
The Boston Globe Sports Plus on NESN with 2 shows each week. It's sports plus a whole lot more.
Take a look at some numbers here, though they are not pretty. David Ortiz, I guess if there's silver lining in all this, maybe David Ortiz coming around a couple of home runs and staying in there battling hard in a lost game, their 9th inning, getting his 2nd home run of the game. 16 home runs on the season, a big poppy. Jason Varitek was hot before coming out 2 for 3. Mark Bellhorn had a home run, his 3rd of the year. The pitching numbers, not pretty. Bronson Arroyo, 700 runs over 4 innings. John Halama, 2 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. Embry and Timwin finishing up there. It all adds up to a 14-6 win for the Cubs. And John Halama, again, there have been times he's come out, a little over a week ago now, had 4 1/3, very long, hitless appearance. Not today. He came out today and they were all over his stuff.
It just we call it fighting at the bat rack. Guys for the Cubs are up there, scrambling to get their at bats. They see a guy struggling out there. They want to get their at bats against them, and it's a day of, he'd like to forget. That's a ball's just rolling up there. That's a rolling curveball, and it's crushed. You can't make those type of pitches against big league hitters, and it doesn't matter if you're in Wrigley, Yankee Stadium, Comerica Park. That's going to be a home run. That's a perfect swing there. That's extension and balance, and he just crushed it. And as far as, he's not a lot like Folk early on. When you're making mistakes and they're being capitalized with home runs and doubles and balls hitting off the ivy, whacking all over the place, that's when you got to say, you know what, something's not right now. And the same happened with Embry later on.
Yeah, 2 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned for John Halama. And then Alan Embry came in, and his troubles continue as well. I don't know, right now, obviously what you look at is the old velocity is not there. Alan Embry is not cranking mid to upper 90s anymore.
The thing that I look at is who's, left-handed hitters are just absolutely hammering him. And he's not getting lefties out. And what his job description is to get lefties out. He's fastball is a rolling curveball, like a little slurred slider, whatever you want to call it, a breaking ball when it's all mixed into one like that. But his fastball is nowhere near it used to be, and guys are just sitting on it. And he has no pitch to get guys off his fastball, and his fastball when it's at 90, 91 is not the same as when it was at 96, 95, 96, 97. He's going to blow it by people, especially lefties. Lefties used to not be able to touch this guy when he was throwing 96, 97 miles an hour. He'd just come in and just blow it right by him. I'm going to throw one pitch, I'm going to challenge it, and I'm going to get you out. He's not doing that. He can't get away with a 91 mile an hour fastball.
We talked in the pregame show today about this isn't about 2 teams with curses, thankfully, because the Red Sox won it all. And this game sort of reminds you of how I think a lot of people of the Red Sox nation feel right now about this team. You'd rather be a Red Sox fan than a Cubs fan right now because the Red Sox won the World Series. And yet, Cubs fans are probably feeling better about their team right now than the Red Sox are because they're overachieving. And you have a feeling the Red Sox are not capitalizing on their talent right now.
They're not. Chicago has St. Louis to worry about in the division, but they can always worry about the wild card. They have Pryor and Kerry Wood coming back. Nomar, I don't know if you can depend on him to come back.
But the pitching, you've got 2 of the better pitchers in the game coming back.
2 young studs coming back. That when you come to the trading deadline and those guys get back and they're healthy, that's like you going for a trade. You get these guys back. These guys are legitimate power pitchers that are really good. And the Red Sox, do they get a bye because of what they did last year? I don't know.
It would be a lot uglier if they didn't win last year.
Yeah, they're treading water. The Red Sox are basically treading water.
They have Schilling coming back, and yet you hate to have everything pinned around one guy coming back. You can't sit there and say,
what are you going to get
when he comes through the door, we'll get better, because you don't know.
You don't know what you're going to get from him. He might go out there, pitch 2 starts, and go back on the DL, because he doesn't have like he's not nicked up. He has a serious injury. Right. He's missing a considerable amount of time, so you can't just wait around and wait around and wait around. You just got to go about your business and not even worry and have guys step up, and they're not stepping up.
And it's starting pitching all of a sudden. We talked a lot about the bullpen a week ago, but suddenly these runs are coming early. St. Louis, 2nd inning, 3rd inning today, 2nd inning, 3rd inning. These teams are scoring a lot of runs early on the Red Sox and putting them out of it before the game gets very deep at all. We'll take a break, come back. And first we look at our mobile changing play of the game, brought to you by the new high endurance oils from Mobile, the oil that's changing oil. Jeremy Burnitz changed his game with a couple of swings of the bat once in the 2nd inning, his 9th home run of the year, making it a 1-0 game, the first run of the game, and then adding a little pile on late, making it 10-0 in the 6th inning. He'd have 3 hits, he'd score 3 runs, and he finished the day with 10 home runs, changing the game in a 14-6 Cubs win.
At a department store, you can get a big and tall suit for $475. K&G has big and tall suits that look just as good for less than a quarter of that. At K&G, you'll find incredible savings on a wide variety of men's extended size fashions. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for less.
New Promise Promise Buttery Spread helps maintain a healthy heart when eaten instead of butter or margarine. And now it's rich with heart health essentials like omega-3 and vitamins B6 and 12. Plus, there's no trans fat and lots of creamy, buttery taste. In fact, it's our healthiest and tastiest buttery spread yet. No wonder hearts are beating louder. New Promise Buttery Spread, taking your health to heart.
With HBO, Stars, and Showtime on Adelphia Digital Cable, there's so much great programming, it's hard to watch it all. And we just made them even better. Because if you get any of these, now you also have them on demand. Which means you can watch past episodes of your favorite original series, hit movies, and events whenever you want at no additional cost. When you subscribe to HBO, Stars, or Showtime. Get digital silver with HBO and DVR for only $10 a month more for 3 months.
Think just a handful of people win Maine Lottery games? You've just scratched the surface. In 2004, Maine Lottery winners won a total of nearly $117 million, and thousands more win every day. That's a lot of winning.
Learn how to fight mannequinism. Log on.
What makes this guy so good?
He's phenomenal. He's smart. He's intelligent. He pays attention to hitters. He pays attention in between his starts. He knows what he's doing out there. He's the only guy around that can throw 84, 85 miles an hour and break your bat and carve you up to death like a surgeon out there.
A-Rod plans to give the bat that he hit the 400th home run Wednesday night to George. How sweet, how touching.
Well, Gord, I've done a lot of things, but I never sucked up to ownership like that. That bat belongs to either him or his kid or somebody a little bit more close to him in that nature, but I don't know. I could never. Gene Autry was a great man. He was a lot of fun to see around the clubhouse, but he was your boss and he was your owner, and there's a line to be drawn. And I don't know. I think that's kind of sucking up a little bit too much right there.
In case you missed it, we had a lot to talk about at the pregame show this afternoon. And we will on Monday as well. The Cincinnati Reds coming to town for interleague play, and you know what Carlton Fisk did against the Reds last time they were here. We'll have a profile on Sean Casey and hear from Jackie McMullen and Nick Cafardo. It's all Monday as Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe pregame report at 6 o'clock. Before the game, as we told you, Nomar Garciaparra catching up with some old friends as he's unable to play but was there today. He and Todd Walker spoke with the media before the game.
Am I going to get my ring? Yeah, I'll be getting it this weekend.
Why else would he be here?
No, yeah, I'll be getting it this weekend. I haven't received it yet, but I told you guys I'd let you know when I got it, so.
Are you excited about getting it, Nomar?
Am I excited about getting it? Yeah, I definitely am. I was excited when I found out I was receiving one, and I'm still excited about seeing it and getting it. I mean, I've definitely been patient. I'm not going, gosh, when's it going to come to me? I haven't been going, shoot, have you sent it yet? What's going on? Just, I know I'll get it when that time comes.
Is it particularly painful not to be able to play this weekend because of your old team?
It's painful. My groin hurts. But it's, I would love to be out there playing right now. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, aside from not only just the Red Sox being in town, but at the same time being out there knowing I'll be able to play from dealing with this injury. But, I also know I have confidence in my team as well. Well, it was extremely special. I mean, I've said this all along. I mean, I have unbelievable memories there, unbelievable friends. I still have amazing friends and close ties over there in that city that I'll always have. And it was definitely a special place. I mean, I'll never forget the time as I realized something. I've said this before about myself. I got a big heart, and that place will always be a place in my heart. And fortunate for me, I'm in another wonderful place that has a big spot in my heart as well. So I have somebody up there who's looking after me. I've been pretty blessed to play in two wonderful, wonderful cities, and now here in a wonderful place in front of great fans.
Nomar Garciaparra talking before the game. Next to him was his current and former teammate from Boston, Todd Walker. Certainly became a popular second baseman in his time with the Red Sox and had a great 2003 postseason was unbelievable, hitting .370 against the Yankees in that 7-game series. He was our Sovereign Bank player profile, and he and the Cubs were able to win big today, 14-6 the final.
Introducing a conventional oil that totally defies convention. New Mobile Clean 5000, the first oil enhanced with a high-endurance formula, the only one guaranteed to protect for 5,000 miles. Mobile Clean 5000, the oil that's changing oil.
At a department store, you can get great-looking shoes for a price like this. At K&G, you can get shoes that look just as good. For a lot less. At K&G, you'll find incredible savings on a wide variety of department store fashions. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for less.
Show us why you're the biggest.
Cool and most dedicated fans in the entire Red Sox nation.
How? We're entering Nessens.
All Red Sox fans, here's your chance to take to the stage and show us your performance. Capture your talent on video and send it to Nesson. You could be eligible to win cool prizes.
Get the picture?
Log on to Nesson.com for details.
It's a wrap. Wow.
Time to light it up with Sylvania, proud sponsor Red Sox baseball. Sylvania, see the world in a new light, and how about helping yourself out? Greg Maddux with his 5th career homer and the 5th hit of the season for Greg Maddux as well. He came in the 6th inning of John Halama. And Greg Maddux picking up the win today. He goes to 5-3. Stay with us. Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra coming up. We'll hear from Terry Francona and the Red Sox in the clubhouse. And look back on this one, look ahead as well. And as we head to break, look at the 7th inning stretch. No Harry Carey's gone, but how about this hockey pair? Nice tan for Chris Chelios. When you don't play all winter, Jack O'Callahan, of course, one of the miracle workers over to the right.
Iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. It's exhilaration in a cup. Dunkin' Donuts. Bring yourself back.
The question she had was a universal one. What do men want? Well, there are a few essentials that every man's wardrobe should have, from classic choices to more contemporary looks. Because what men want, well, that's complicated. But what they need, now that we know something about.
Happy Father's Day from the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
4-door sedan. 4-door sedan. Oh my.
The stylish Nissan Altima 2.5S has a higher residual value than Camry LE. Now lease the Altima 2.5S for $199 a month or get $1,500 cash back. Check it out.
Okay, guys, how are we doing in here?
Let's see. 101.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, let's see you. Oh, no. 102. Oh, baby.
Hey, in your face. If you love to win, play Cash Windfall, the jackpot game where 1 out of 6 tickets wins from the Mass State Lottery.
New refresh
refreshing coconut-flavored iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. It's exhilaration in a cup. Dunkin' Donuts. Bring yourself back.
Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra is brought to you in part by Granite City Electric, the official distributor of electrical supplies to the Boston Red Sox.
This week had such great promise, didn't it? Going to St. Louis, go to Chicago, two ugly ones in St. Louis. They did come back with a win at the end, and an ugly one to start this weekend series in Chicago. Welcome to WB Mason. Oh, that one's over, actually. Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra. Tom Carrot along with Gary DeSarcina. Still 2 games left. You can still come back from this trip 500, which is fine. But as we stand here today, it's been pretty ugly.
The excitement of going to St. Louis, revisiting all those memories, then going to a beautiful place like Chicago, Wrigley, the whole circus-like atmosphere, and you come out and you fall on your face right here, right now. That's pretty. I would assume that the guys are somewhat embarrassed by their performance.
You got to be. I mean, this is all right. This is my scorecard. I know you're not supposed to use a pen to do the scorecard, but I put the runs in red. Yeah, that's a lot of red.
That's a lot of red. You don't want to see that. Yeah, you don't want to see that. Pitching. It all comes down to pitching, and right off the bat, the first 2 or 3 innings, the game was. I thought the game was over as soon as you give Maddux 7 runs. I don't care how good the offense is. You're not facing a run-of-the-mill generic right-hander out there. You're facing some guy who has won 4 Cy Youngs. He knows how to pitch when he has a lead, and you give that, like I said, you give that guy 3 or 4 in the 3rd inning. You give him 7 runs. It's pretty much over.
What are they giving up? 30 runs in the 4 games on this trip now, and they shut the Cardinals out in one of them. So that's 30 runs in 3 games. That's not good. Let's break it down for you as we fire up the Bank of America game highlights from Wrigley Field. Brought to you by Bank of America. It was a special atmosphere, to say the least. And Greg Maddux was pitching pretty special for the Cubs. Here strikes out Johnny Damon, had 5 strikeouts on the day. And Maddux was in control. Meantime, it didn't take long for the Cubs to get to Bronson Arroyo. 2nd inning, first batter up, Jeremy Burnitz gets his 9th of the year and gives the Cubs a 1-0 lead. Still in the 2nd, a runner on, Todd Hollinsworth with a 2-run homer. That one to right. And more trouble for Bronson Arroyo, though he would get out of it down 3-0. Sox get one back in the 3rd with Edgar Renteria at the plate and runners on the corner. He will leg out the infield hit here. Phil Miller scores. Gary DeSarcina didn't agree with the scoring, but it's a 3-1 game. Then the bottom falls out in the 3rd. 2 on, and Arroyo throws the ball behind Aramis Ramirez. Runners go to 2nd and 3rd. Jason Barrett took a snap throw. It's off the mark. Derek Lee scores. That makes it 4-1. Same at bat here. And Ramirez will get the RBI single as Burnett scores 5-1. And just to put it away, Michael Barrett, the fly ball to center, a wind-blown double out of the reach of Johnny Damon. Todd Walker, Aramis Ramirez scores 7-1. Cubs never look back. Sox chip away. David Ortiz, a solo homer, is 15th of the year to make it 7-2. But Greg Maddux takes matters into his own hand and will answer back in the bottom half of the inning, not by pitching, but by hitting his 5th career home run. First of the season for the old man.
Every squirrel finds a nut.
Even a blind dog finds a bone. That makes it 8-2. And Burnett's having a little fun with it as well later in the inning. A 2-run shot. 2nd of the game, 10th of the year, 11-2 Chicago. Tough day for John Halama. Long afternoon at Wrigley. This place sort of typifies it as the uniquely Wrigley Field play here. The ball in the ivy and it never comes out off Michael Barrett. Hollinsworth Walker score 13-3. 14-6 the final. Big Papi did add another one in the 9th inning, so he did have the 2 home runs with the Cubs. 32 wins now on the year, and they are a game back of the wild card spot of the National League. So they're hanging in there despite all the injuries.
They are. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're having guys pick up their game. Neffy, Burnitz, Lee. A lot of guys in that lineup picking up their game. And, they've got some young pitches. Miter came up, pitched great the other day. They're doing what they're supposed to do. The Red Sox, on the other hand, I think they need to pitch better. Bronson needs to pitch better. I mean, that's you have to be somewhat embarrassed about how you went about your business today, making mistakes, throwing the ball behind, that pitch to Ramirez, throwing behind him. That stuff can't be happening this time of year.
All right, we're going to hear from Arroyo. We're going to hear from Terry Francona. Stay with us. More reaction from Chicago. First, want to tell you about the chance you have to show us your talent and get your face on NESN. Show and tell us why you're the greatest, most dedicated fan of Red Sox Nation. Do it with a VHS, a DVD, a mini DV, or anything else. Sing, dance, any kind of entertainment welcome. Just keep it baseball related. Have fun, be creative. Maybe we'll share your video with Red Sox Nation on the Boston Globe pregame report. Log on to NESN.com for entry rules and details, and stay with us for more after this.
Promise Buttery Spread helps maintain a healthy heart when eaten instead of butter or margarine. And now it's rich with heart health essentials like omega-3 and vitamins B6 and 12. Plus, there's no trans fat and lots of creamy, buttery taste. In fact, it's our healthiest and tastiest buttery spread yet. No wonder hearts are beating louder. New Promise Buttery Spread, taking your health to heart.
The Nissan Pathfinder has led the way for nearly 2 decades, and the league just got bigger. Introducing the new 7-passenger 2005 Nissan Pathfinder with more horsepower and seating for 7. See your Nissan dealer now and lease a new 2005 Pathfinder for just $339 a month. The Nissan Pathfinder, everything you expect from Nissan and more. Yep, a third row.
City Electric. We do it right now.
I hope you girls are getting ready for bed. I'll be up there in a few minutes.
Pay 10 bills in under 3 minutes.
Ready or not, here I come.
Free with unlimited online bill pay. Bank of America. Higher standards.
At a department store, you can get an elegant 100% wool suit for $299.99. K&G has 100% wool suits that look just as stylish for a third of that. Really. K&G has incredible savings on a wide range of fashions 7 days a week. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for less.
4-door sedan. 4-door sedan. Oh
my. The stylish Nissan Altima 2.5S has a higher residual value than Camry LE. Now lease the Altima 2.5S for $199 a month or get $1,500 cash back. Check it out.
He is of his mechanics, his head, his arm slot, and he's special, and he's fun to watch, and he's fun to learn from.
As a leader, what are you saying to these guys? A tough day like today, tough games in St. Louis.
We find ways. We need to start with a quality start again, and work from there. We definitely need to get a quality start.
Stand by Bronson and everything. How close is he to what we saw at the beginning of the season? Is he just in a low spot right now?
I think he's real close. Real close.